All right. Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Change up my screen. There we go. Hello, everyone. Starting on time today, just how I like it. Unfortunately, yet again, as usual, I wasn't able to stream yesterday. I keep wanting to add more days, and it keeps not working out. But that's okay. Monday and Wednesday is working out for me at least. That's all that I can ask for. And actually, I'm really excited about getting into the playthrough today. Hopefully, we should be able to recruit Palagina and finally get a full Pillars of Eternity team. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I've been making do with some other party members that I, of course, enjoy because all the party members in this game are fantastic, but they're not part of the permanent team that I actually want to use. So it'll be nice to finally have the gang all together. Hopefully, you all can see my screen okay and all the levels all right. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, oh, that's right. This is the Lighthouse. All right, you're right. I didn't want to have to do that late during the last stream because I I seem to remember this being brutal. Maybe it's not going to be brutal this time. That would, of course, be really nice.
If secrets whisper here,
Oh,
I shall
let's go
listen
ahead and
for
turn on fast mode.
Certainly.
And of course, they have all that crazy, creepy whispering the whole time you go through this level as well, driving home the creepiness for you, as if they hadn't already done that enough. It just is what it is. Whoa! And here we go. Okay, rain blight, greater rain blight. They are not immune to paralyzed, so Istian, glad you're able to make it. Awesome. Okay, I'm glad that it sounds okay. We had some some technical issues last time to begin the first 10 or 20 minutes of the stream, but hopefully we should have worked through all those already, and we'll be in a good. Good Lord, the dog got just absolutely chopped up right there, but okay. Oh, and it's immune to my bow, which means that he's not generating any focus. That's not good. That's really not good at all. How about a blast? Is it immune to blast? Florian, what's going on? Glad you're able to make it. Keon, what's going on? Glad you're able to be here as well. Are you serious? Nobody is doing anything that actually... All right. Alaf, I think you're going to be carrying the team this time, unfortunately. I hope you're up to it. Ooh, but that's enough. Yeah, they're going to get that initial blast, and then that's it. Yeesh. All right. It is what it is. It is what it is. Why is the magnifying glass? There we go. The wood of these barrels and crates is swollen and warped as if by water. The burlap sacks have all but rotted away. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Ooh, the dog is not. There we go. The glass is completely opaque with grime and salt. Ooh, excellent. A patina of filth and dead barnacles reaches almost to the ceiling. All right. How's you all's day been? You all do anything special? I had to go to an in-person meeting at my job today, but it was actually pretty nice. They even fed us Giordano's. I felt so special. I haven't had... Okay. These guys just popping up out of nowhere. All right. Yeah, you turn this way, but these two are going to focus on that shade.
Yes.
Your weapons work there? Oof. That's already not going well, so let's go ahead and get this party started. And you. How about you just fireball the lot of them? Yep, that's going to help. That's going to help. Whoa. That dude still has full health. One miss, one graze, one hit. You know, it says that, but it doesn't say exactly how much it did. And now my main guy's dead. That's not cool. See, this is already going in a very crappy way. Let's try this one more time. They can't possibly be immune to fireball. That wouldn't make any sense. One miss, two graze, three hit. Oh, are they immune to confusion? They are not. Ooh. Ooh, this upgraded version has a much wider area of effect. Just moved offices today. Went from a 40-minute commute to a 5-minute commute. That is nice. Very, very nice, sir. I know you're happy about that. No doubt about it. Come on, how have y'all not killed this shade yet? Wait a minute. That shade just gained health. It was at 1, now it's at 2. Draining freeze. Oh, it's got a power that allows it to drain health from people. Interesting. Okay. Here. How's this power work again? Does this power bounce? And leap to 2 additional targets. Yeah, we're doing this. Yeah. That's what we're doing. Yep, now this guy. Actually, no, you need help. There we go. Yep, that helps. Because she is getting absolutely nothing out of this. I am doing good, and recently my semester ended, so I have a lot of free time. Been thinking about playing the Banner Saga trilogy. Have you got any experience with it? Played the whole thing. It was absolutely fantastic, sir. I highly recommend it. The only problem is I would kind of say it doesn't get better with each entry in the series. I think, if I remember correctly, I like the second one the best, but the third one, it wasn't like a crazy disappointment with the ending the way like Mass Effect 3 was, but I definitely didn't think the ending was as good as it should have been. So, you know, just kind of go in understanding that it's more so about the journey than the ending. But yeah, it was awesome, man. It was absolutely awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Eder, what are you doing, bro? Why aren't you attacking? Attack. Come on now. There we go. Almost there. No paralyzed. Oh, well, now she has paralyzed, but for the most part, the Cypher's weapons aren't piercing the enemies. So since I'm not doing damage to them, they're not generating the focus needed to be able to use paralyze. We could have used it at the very beginning of the battle, but instead we did the what is that freaking thing called? The echo. The echo that does a pulse back and forth, which actually wiped out a couple of the shades. But obviously there was more to deal with. I think there's like 3 levels of this. For this lighthouse. Yeah, I absolutely hate this level. But I'm also shocked that so many of my powers are completely ineffective against them. All right, attack you. And this time we will go ahead and do paralyze. Let's see if that helps more than doing the echo did. Well, this is rough. Yeah, see, the echo would really help right now. Actually, no, here. We'll do this one, and we'll do this one, because they're not even reaching. Ooh. They were, what is the problem? What's going on? What is this? She did what she was supposed to do. Oh, but that person all the way over there is paralyzed. That's fine. But what are you doing? This is not going well at all. Boop, 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 boop. Thanks for the heads up. Any builds you could recommend for the Banner Saga? So, unfortunately, it's hard to recommend a build because I don't like how this fight is going. I need to do this differently. It's hard to recommend a build for Banner Saga because you actually get a couple of different choices about who's going to lead it. So Banner Saga, you import your progress as you go along, and what kind of builds are effective wildly changes based upon who is like the permanent leader of your party. So I would say you need to just play Banner Saga 1 as is, and then Banner Saga 2, depending on which person you have leading it. I feel like it'll probably be pretty obvious what's the right way to go as far as effective builds. All right, this time we will not have them go after a specific person. We're just gonna have them. Oh, so there's one guy here, and then there's two others here, and I'm just aggroing all of them. Hello, everyone. Argo, what's going on? You should have caught the Monday stream, sir. We had like a 20-minute conversation about the rat folk. You would have absolutely loved it. Okay. Give this to Eder. And also give that to Eder. Whoops. Give that to Eder. Yep. And yep. Spectre on you. Jesus. Boom, boom, da 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 da, boom, 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 boom. And he's down once again. She's got 27. He is not down. Oh. Well, that went much better. Ah, there's one more. Okay, deal with you. Oh, he's trying to walk away and get more people involved. Don't let him do that. Thank you very much. Well, that went significantly better.
Slow and silent.
I would also say, like, there's not really a wrong way to play Banner Saga. For the most part. Like, just do what you want to do. The compounds and fluids in these bottles have separated into distinct layers. Like, it can, if you put it on higher difficulties, it absolutely can be a very difficult game. But if you're just keeping it on regular normal, you should be fine. Pretty much no matter what build choice you go with. Carved into the post is the name Merwith and a series of notches labeled with numbers. The lowest notch reads 4, and the highest notch reads 17. Yellowed, fading maps of the bay around Andra's gift show routes through the locks between the dikes that hold the ocean back. Oh, okay, I thought it was supposed to say docks, but no. Locks is actually correct. Oh, man, I'm sorry I missed that. Passed out sick. Oh, wow. Poison ivy infection and other stuff. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you're feeling better now. Because the VOD of your live stream is up. Yeah. It's already in the the live playlist as usual. So I just unlist the videos so it doesn't, clog up the regular videos that I usually come out with. But I always put it in that live playlist so it's available for people. Yeah, hope you're feeling better, dude. I've never had poison ivy before, but I've heard about what it's like to go through being infected with it, and it's no joke. Shrieking sobs pierce your ears and rattle the musty rafters of the lighthouse. They emanate from the spectral figure of a woman hovering in the middle of the room. Each heave of her shoulders unleashes another hair-raising wail. Perception 18. Observe the Cain Gual. You're close enough to notice that the spirit's head is tilted back. Even as it loses blood-curdling howls, the faint movement of its head suggests that it's looking toward the windows and scanning the horizon. The Cain Gual's ghostly hands are stained with something dark. At first, you think it's blood, but it's as black as ink. The Wailing Banshee. All right, let's go ahead and save here.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves. That's settled.
Ooh, that was a special armor, whatever I just picked up there. Very, very nice. And another cloak. And that's it. Okay. What's the deal with her? Shrieking sobs. Oh, same deal. Get closer. As you approach, the spirit's cries take on a threatening edge. The swirling mist around his legs ripples with movement. The black pits of his eyes level momentarily with yours. Perception 15. Observe the Queen Gual. That's it. Nothing else. What's the deal with this? Wailing. Deal. Maybe I'll sign. Maybe I'll find something nearby that can help me. So was I supposed to look at one of those books that I picked up? What's this? Logbook. I don't know the names of those books that I just picked up, quite frankly. Here. Was this what I just got? Club of Refined Gentlemen. What was this armor? Oh, Jack of Wide Waters. Okay. I really need to reassess my inventory and the ones that I'm using. Logbook. Did any of this update it? Oh, it did. Okay. The last lighthouse keeper kept a log seemingly into the final days of the War of Defiance. The person was also tracking the appearance of a ship called the Red Dream. Neum Night No More. Okay. We'll circle back to this. Now, the infection is still spreading, unfortunately. Even had to leave work early because it's becoming painful to use my left arm. Obviously a problem. Wow. At the Amazon warehouse. Is it contagious? Like if somebody else touches your arm, could they potentially get poison ivy as well or no? Or is only the actual plant contagious? Well, as an update for your art, the line art was done a couple of days ago, so it might get finished next week or so. Awesome. Yo, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, Argo. I appreciate it. Definitely looking forward to that.
Well met, friend.
So, have you figured out what all the fuss is about? Have you heard of the Red Dream? Who hasn't? That shit's been running raids for decades now. Used to stop in New Haremore laden with spoils from raw tide traders. These days, I hear she spends most of her time prowling the Deadfire Archipelago. Nia points to a ship anchored in the distance. That's her. When she's at port, her captain, an elf named Merowith, takes her shore leave over at the Charred Barrel in Brackenberry. Believe it or not, she likes her creature comforts. She shakes her head. That's what I'm talking about. When a pirate won't even set foot in the tavern on this side of town, it is high time for a new establishment. I'll talk to you later. Okay, so we need to go to the Brackenberry. No problem. And actually, since we're here, we'll talk to the people at Heritage Hill, even though I'm not going to enter into Heritage Hill yet. I want my full proper team, and I'm probably going to clean up all the rest of the quest, then go into Heritage Hill. Because I think Heritage is like considered a marker. Like the story advances significantly at that point. What is it? I'm looking for a neighborhood with a tower. It's near a cemetery. Best you stop looking then. The place you want is Heritage Hill. You can see the tower over the district walls out that way. The Justicar points to the northwest. But something happened there. They don't let people in anymore. And none of the knights want to be posted anywhere close to it. Steer clear if you know what's good for you. Where the mad kept at Defiance Bay. Only place around here that takes them is in Brackenberry Sanitarium. I've heard they can treat your soul there, take the madness away. But there's just as many stories coming out of that place that'll chill your blood. There's a man, if you want to call him that, Ethelmore there. He's Head Warden. If you're visiting or checking yourself in, he's the one to talk to. Farewell. All right. So then I think first We will go to... Why did I come all the way over here? I could have clicked that freaking button and went right where I wanted to. Oh, well. First, I want to complete the quest that's going to allow us to get Pallegina. Then we'll circle back around and finish the Lighthouse Quest. So I think Pallegina's quest is in Copper Lane. Let's go there. Trashy, what's going on? Glad you were able to make the stream. What class are you playing? I am playing as a Cipher and definitely enjoying it. Feeling like I get a lot out of Pillars of Eternity. Yes, we can rest. Feel like I get a lot out of Pillars of Eternity when playing as a Cipher. I don't think it's contagious. Not like I'm trying to touch people anyways. Most of it's on my arms and legs. Only the plant, which has the oils that cause the initial condition. Got you. Okay. Well, that's good at least. That you're not contagious for other people. Do you know how you picked up poison ivy? Like, were you out hiking or something in the middle of nowhere and picked it up? Or some other place where you weren't expecting it? Let's rest first. Okay. Save here. A man skulks near the bar. He seems like he's trying to blend in with the wood paneling as he watches the other patrons out of the corner of his eye. He gives you a quick nod as you approach. What do you do here? Me? I'm just minding my own business. Perception. Of course, you're standing by yourself in the corner of a tavern and you're not drinking anything. Not suspicious at all. Gareth's nervous eyes dart around the room. Keep it down, will you? I really am here to do business, but it's the kind of thing that requires discretion. And unless a mutual friend has sent you to me, that's all I've got to say on the subject. Okay.
Gods keep you.
He peels his gaze away from the bar. Yeah? Varzana has a delivery for you. He glances around and snatches the pouch from you. Keep your voice down, will you? The Dominels have spies everywhere. He tucks the pouch away. You tell Varzano this is the last time I'm buying from him. This is getting too dangerous for me. I don't think I've heard of the Dominels. The more important thing is making sure they don't hear of you. They're old Brackenberry stock, but these days the Dominels are known for their business activities, most of which involve some degree of bribery, extortion, theft, or murder. What do the Dominels have to do with this? You have no idea, do you? Let's just say that the Dominels have exclusive rights to trade certain merchandise within the city. Varzano likes to make some extra coin from time to time by dealing in the same merchandise, undercutting the competition, he says. Tell me what was in that pouch. Bitter squash seeds. They interrupt pregnancies. Even though they're not exactly legal, many folk nowadays prefer them to the risk of hollowborn or celibacy. He pulls a wry frown. Did I just do something illegal? No. He grins weakly. Are we done? Yeah, we're done. Now get out of here before. A woman swaggers in, her polished boots thwacking the floor with slow, deliberate steps. A crooked sneer warps her smooth face. Gareth, I'm hurt. You promised to buy only from me. What's a girl to think? Gareth bows, his knees knocking together. Please, my lady, I was just explaining that I don't do business with anyone else. Except this one last time, right? Dana crosses her arms and rocks back on her heels. There's always one more deal, until you run out of credit, that is. Dana turns and regards you, looking you up and down. And just who are you? You don't exactly look like a seed dealer. Aleph glances at Gareth. I think that's a compliment. Just someone making a delivery. Varzano put you up to this, didn't he? That old fool's on a sinking ship, and he's determined to drag anyone who gets close enough down with him. She eyes the trembling Gareth. Gareth here knew better, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. In fact, I'll also give you a chance to get even with the imbecile who's been playing us both. She narrows her eyes. What do you say to killing Verzano? Why would I want to do that? Why wouldn't you? He's used you to do his dirty work and without telling you anything about what you were carrying or who you were crossing. She taps a finger to her jaw and her voice slows down. Of course, I'd also consider it a personal favor, and House Dominel is never stingy with its friends. She glances at Gareth, the loyal ones, anyway. Tell me about the Dominels. I don't know whether to be relieved or insulted. We're one of the wealthiest merchant families in Defiance Bay. Let's just say, however, that some of our business practices are not officially sanctioned. I'll decide his fate when I talk to him again. You'd better make up your mind quickly because we're going to pay him his dues one way or another. Just make sure you stay out of our way. Mm. Cipher based. I find Cipher appropriate for the story too. Absolutely. I hope you enjoy this game, pal. The writing world building, it's absolutely fantastic. I'm having a great time with this game so far. The only thing that I feel like this game lacks compared to the typical RPGs I play is that you can't do a romance. I really feel like my Cipher should be in a romance with Grieving Mother. But other than that, it's been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I was out trying to clear weeds and wild bushes for my disabled grandmother in her flower garden.
Before venturing forth.
She feels really guilty about it, but I consider it just part of living with her as a caregiver. No good deed goes unpunished, sir. I absolutely understand. I've got a grandfather-in-law who's very sickly, so a lot of times, since I'm the man around here with, the one with the muscles and whatnot to be able to help lift them and things of that nature, a lot of times I'm called to come help them. So I absolutely understand it. Some of the companion quests might fall a bit flat in comparison to others, but cannot all be diamonds. Absolutely, I agree. So far, I like the companion quests. I can't think of any that don't really do it for me. I definitely like Olive's. You know what? I guess Eddar's falls flat a little bit. As much as I like the character Eddar, I remember feeling dissatisfied once his quest was finally finished. So, but I'll have to play back through it here and see if I still feel the same way. But I remember that. But Olaf, Grieving Mother, I enjoyed, even though it's really all dialogue. Yeah, there are definitely some nice options. Let's say you're saying, Argo, the amount of folk that shunned that got a job of the state. Absolutely. Absolutely. Most people don't even want to be bothered. So, will you be covering Gotham Knights on the channel? Probably. I'm not really excited about Gotham Knights, to be honest with you. I was a big Arkham fan. I played all of those games. And from what I've seen so far, Gotham Knights just doesn't really compare. But on the other hand, it's not like we get a ton of Batman RPGs, so I'll probably end up playing it regardless. I feel I get a better deal having a free place to live, doing chores around the house, and trying to keep our flowers alive. Awesome. But coming from a disabled person, the amount of separation from the general community we face, anyone stepping in there is doing wonders to help. Yep. The elderly absolutely feel it. I absolutely appreciate it. Like my grandfather-in-law, he is always so appreciative of the help because he knows he's old. There's a lot of things that he can't do. So he really appreciates that there are people around him who love him enough to be willing to step in and help him. And taking care of an older person who is sickly, it just really lets you know sometimes it's hard getting old. And that's part of the reason why it's really important to live well. Make sure that you live a life where people are really feel like their lives were enriched by you and you have people around you who love you. So when that time does come where you really need care, there are going to be people around you who are going to take care of that and not like Lothian said, just shun you off to the government and not really give a damn about you, barely even see you in that nursing home. Be on the lookout for a possible. There's romance and Deathfire, but it's sad. I agree. Be on the lookout for a possible Baby Sam visit. Just send her in, darling. It's fine. Send her in. She wants a hug. One of the Pillars Attorney has mods. Maybe you could get a romance that way. It might have mods, but I'm pretty sure there's just no content in the game for mods. So I'm probably not going to be satisfied with the way that they do it because the game just isn't meant to support that. Were you able to deliver the package? Yeah, yes, but now the Dominoes want you dead. The Dominoes were there? Rosano's eyes fly open and he tugs at his beard. I was so careful, always following the Vita. They couldn't have known.
Well, well. Is this your last day among the living, Verzano?
Rosano wrings his hands. Your timing is impeccable, Telepagina. The Dominoes are after me. Please, you've got to stop them.
As if any of this were ever in my hands. The Republics considered your business worth protecting based on its success. That success depended on cooperation with the locals, like House Dominel. You've lost that. And the favor of the Dukes.
Do not interrupt.
Even if you get out of this alive, they're done with you. The Dukes have more pressing interest in Defiance Bay than rescuing one merchant who threw himself overboard.
Rosano falls to his knees and claps his hands together. Have mercy, Pelagina. I don't stand a chance against the Dominoes. He bites a trembling lip. I brought failure and shame on myself, but you can't mean to watch your countrymen die like a dog.
Verzano, Verzano. Why are you wasting your precious breath on me? My orders come through the ambassador, and through the ambassador from people you should be honored ever gave a moment's thought to whether you live or die. You don't seem like the sort to petition the gods to keep him out of hell. So why not cry mercy to the one person in this room with the power to grant it?
She turns her attention to you and raises her feathered eyebrows expectantly. I'm already not siding with the Domino, so there's no danger in pissing them off even more, so might as well. I intend to protect Verzano from the Dominoes. Pelagina drops her gaze and lightly shakes her head from side to side. Moments later, she turns her eyes to the ceiling in amused disbelief.
Verzano, you have a saint looking out for you after all.
She strides across the room and takes the already nervous Verzano's head in her feathered hands, a gesture that seems to hover in a dangerously narrow space between caressing and crushing.
Just don't come knocking on the embassy door. Understand?
Verzano replies with a rapid, weak series of nods. Pelagina nods back once and gives his face a light slap. Woo, that's disrespectful. Favorite companion quest? I'm a really big fan of Camellia. I'm a really big fan of Arushale. You all see me drop content for that now. Damn, now that I'm thinking about it, really all of them. Just about all of them I enjoyed quite a bit. I don't think I had a favorite. If you asked me before the full game came out, I would have said Sela is my favorite because the beta left her quest at a cliffhanger. But otherwise, I have some that I don't like, but the ones that I do like, I feel like it's kind of equal. Like, I don't feel like Regil gets enough content, so I don't really like what they did with his.
Do as you will. He's no longer my concern.
Sam, just send her in. I can hear my baby wailing. I don't understand why. For whatever reason, I'm much better at getting her to go to sleep than my wife is. I might have to get up and go help her. We'll see. Um, when I'm first time going through Pathfinder now seems to do the whole far better than Pillars of Eternity, but I reckon Pillars of Eternity's romance is more of a last minute thing than the world's the main focus. Yep, I absolutely agree. Like I feel like Pathfinder does a much better job of it, and it's clear that that was a real focus for them. Donna saunters through the door, flanked by a squad of Dominel foot soldiers. She lets her gloved hand rest on the hilt of her weapon. A sneer curdles on her face as she looks at you. It seems I was wrong to overlook your blunder. Rest assured, I never make the same mistake twice. Okay. Well, first let people get in position. There we go. Oh, you got obliterated, bro. You got obliterated. We'll give y'all some fear to think about. And you, let's just go ahead and freeze you in place. And I guess the other guy died too quickly for him to make use of that. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, that dog gets chewed up on a regular basis. He wipes the sheen from his forehead and looks around the warehouse with the wide, fearful eyes of a hunted animal. I can't thank you enough, Amico, but this won't stop the Dominels for long. I've got to get out of here, and I recommend that you do too. He hands you his pistol and gives you a bag of coin with shaking hands. That's all I have after this ill-fated venture. Thank you again, and please, look out for yourself. All right. Very nice. And we'll take everything you all have.
Certainly.
Excellent. Okay. From what I heard, Pillars of Eternity 1 doesn't have any romance, and apparently Deadfire's romance isn't very good. It's not very good. I definitely remember that. Very much young. When I was younger, I really looked down on romance in games, but as I got older,
Certainly.
I feel it generally adds to the RPG experience. So my first RPG experience was King's Quest. And of course, that had romance in it. So it was established for me very early on that, hey, video games should have romance in it. And my next major gaming experience after King's Quest was Knights of the Old Republic, which obviously had some fantastic romances. So from the very beginning of my time with RPGs, it was established that, hey, romances are a thing and you should definitely be looking for them. Well, it's not that it isn't good. It just doesn't feel the same in the same league as Pathfinder as an example of comparison. Yep, I 100% agree. Sela was amazing, powerful, and fun character. Margarine, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream. What's going on, man? Yep, absolutely agree. Sela was fantastic. Honestly, I was in fact, I mentioned this in my character ranking video. I was disappointed that I wasn't able to marry her, to romance her. I felt like she was absolutely a fantastic character. Sela just makes me feel guilty as hell anytime I go for evil playthrough. Maybe it's your soothing voice that lulls her to sleep. That might be it. Or I think my wife also, because my daughter, she wants to cuddle to go to sleep, right? And I think my wife kind of lets her play around and sing songs, stuff like that. Whereas I'm always trying to be like, shh, close your eyes, lay down. It's time for sleep. Like I try to get her to settle down and mellow out. I feel like I do that more than my wife. And so maybe that's also why I have a little bit more success with it than she does. Could be. The duties of fatherhood. I love it. Honestly. Like it's
Done, babe.
and it's funny because all throughout the day, my daughter wants to be with my wife. Like I'm basically chopped liver. My daughter wants to know that I'm there. Like she doesn't like it when I'm flat out gone. But as long as she knows that I'm here, she wants to be up under her mother all day at all times. She follows her around like a little shadow. My wife can't stand it. And so it's only when it comes to nighttime and it's time to go to bed that my daughter wants me. And even then, my wife is the one who reads to her. And then I'm second shift. After she gets through reading to her, then I'm the one that actually lays with her and gets her to go to sleep. And usually when we combo it like that, it works. But throughout the day, I'm chopped liver. My daughter could care less. Yeah, Regel's absolutely awesome, man, Fred. I agree. While Palagina is quite the character. Oh, yeah, I'm a fan of her. That's why she's part of our permanent team.
Vetsano plays with fire and someone else always pays the price for it. Your charity is more than he deserves. Still, at least I don't have to deal with him anymore. For that, I'm grateful.
Why are you giving my wife a hard time? Stop giving mommy a hard time. You know it's time for sleep, right? Huh? You love mommy? You want mommy to go to sleep? You ever go to sleep? No crying, okay? All right. Don't be like that. Give me a kiss. All right. I love you, darling. Night, night. All right.
Whether you intended to or not, you've done the Valian Republics a service today, ridding us of him. I work closely with the embassy to protect our interests, but lately I think our gaze has been too narrow. You clearly have pursuits of your own in the city, but I think we could help each other out, if you're interested in doing some work for us. Officially, I mean. We can go together and I'll introduce you to the ambassador.
That sounds fine. Let's go.
Good. Maybe I can finally do something more worthwhile than playing nanny to merchants. The embassy is up in First Fires, southwest of the Ducal Palace.
Okay. And that brings our time with Sagani to an end. Now we take Palagina and accept. Ooh, I don't remember anything about her build, but we'll get to that. All right, let's go here. Ooh, and it looks like our formation is all jacked up as well. So let's deal with that in just a minute. Bip, 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 bip. Okay. What do we want? What do we want? He's up here. She's also up here. He's up here. She's back a bit. And is that middle? Is that in the middle? Oh, yeah, that's the middle. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. In fact, you know what? I'm almost thinking, yeah, something like that. That's fine. Make sure edit the tank is always up front. Let's roll with that for a while, see if that works. Forgotten Hollow. We need to assign that. I guess we can give it to any of them. We'll give it to Sagani. Why not? And are we still working on completing things? Yes, we are. Another 20 hours for that. Only $9,200. Okay. Now. Save there.
Certainly.
Let's go up to First Fires first, because I think visiting the Valen Republics is like the only thing we have to do there besides submitting that quest for the Knights. And it might be a while before I get to that quest. Yeah. The only other thing is the Crucible Keep, and I'm not ready for that. So we'll go over here. And I believe it's quite a while before you're ready to actually do anything at the Ducal Palace. So I'm not worried about that either. Then once we do this...
Ambassador Augusti, I would speak with you on a matter of some urgency and great importance.
Sighing as though remembering some heavy burden, Vicente crosses his arms before replying. Palagina, if this is the same matter we previously discussed, I doubt I will be convinced any more easily. Remain silent.
Ambassador, I implore you to take a step back and look at this again.
Ambassador Augusti holds up his hands and cuts Palagina off in a strident tone. Enough! We're not going over Defiance Bay's animatches again. The Duke Bell's desires have not changed since the last time we spoke. If you haven't heard, word of your insubordination has already found the ears of the Duchessa of Biajep and the Duke of Silona. There are murmurs that you cannot be trusted to fulfill your duties. Must this talk reach the shores of Spirento? Palagina's aggressive demeanor drains to a state of shock and worry, but she remains silent. If it makes any difference, Ambassador, I'm already looking into the matters Palagina has spoken of. It doesn't, but it would be fortuitous if your investigation took you to Twin Elms because that's where Palagina needs to go.
What is it the Dukes need of me, Ambassador?
The Deerwood's instability has created an opportunity for us to take over their trade with Glanfoth. We will need to meet with the Glanfothans soon to secure upcoming trade agreements. The roads to Twin Elms can be dangerous, of course, but that's why you'll be our representative there.
Et Josie, Ambassador. But won't this provoke the Deerwoodens? Their country is falling apart, and we're already dividing up their trade alliances.
Provoke them into what? Going to war? Through no fault of the Republic's, the Deerwood's armies have been deprived of an entire generation of soldiers. It would be foolish not to take advantage of the situation. If we don't, the Red Sarens will. Ambassador, that's some cold compassion considering what these people have been through.
More than that, Ambassador, there is a practical element to consider. We may profit in the short term from this arrangement, but what of the future? The Deerwood won't forget, and the Republics may pay the price for it.
The ambassador sighs. We're not the Dukes, Palagina. It's their decision and our job to carry out the orders. It's not like they're asking you to assassinate someone. Palagina raises an eyebrow and clenches her jaw, but remains silent. Palagina, he shakes his head. Go to Twin Elms, speak to the Anamthath, impress upon her the instability of the Deerwood, and reassure her of the Valiant Republic's desire to open safe trade.
Of course, Ambassador.
The ambassador nods and smiles paternally, but then he looks at you. I know you planned on investigating this crisis together, but I hope you understand Palagina's responsibilities. Lie, wink obnoxiously at Palagina. I understand completely and will make sure she completes this important mission for the Dukes. Vincent brustles and turns to Palagina. Will the Dukes need to hear more about Palagina Mesray's wild adventures?
Of course not, Ambassador. I will attend to the Anamendfath as soon as I am able to travel to Twin Elms.
Good. Now, if you will excuse me.
Could have gone better. Could have gone worse. I appreciate that you stood up for me, but it's hard to persuade the Ambassador to go against the Duke's orders.
I know you're right, Palagina. We may find a way for you to fulfill your obligations while looking into what's really going on around here. Don't worry.
Enough wisdom for both of us. Now, I just need to find out how to get to Twin Elms before the Ambassador loses his patience.
She pauses in thought. Still, I fear that making this deal with the Glanfothans will further weaken the Deerwood and make trouble for the Republics in the years to come. Well, it's a long way to, Follow your heart. Do what you believe would be best for the Republics.
I wish I knew.
There we go. All right, she's officially on the squad. Wow, Palagina is quite the character. She's all sass and feathers. Absolutely.
Certainly.
That's why I'm a fan. Why is it stealing? We've got Palagina on the team. These resources should just be available for her. All right. I wonder if our reputation with the city has increased at all to the point that we could go ahead and do Eddar's Quest while we're here. You know, we probably would have received some sort of notification for that, though. Let's see. We're in Defiance Day. Ally. Faintly good. Is that enough? You know what? We're already here. We might as well
Hey
check.
there. How is it you Eothasians stay so optimistic? The world has not given your kind much reason to hope.
You get to a certain point and you realize you got two options. You can go mad with grief and tear out all your hair and check yourself into the sanitarium. Or you can wait for better days.
Well, feathers in my case. But I understand your point.
Brainslav, what's going on? How are you? Glad you're able to make the stream. Yeah, so let's check to see if we can submit this with Eddar, and then I want to head over to Brackenberry, where we can check on the Lighthouse Quest, and then since we'll be there, we might as well go to the sanitarium and check on that prisoner. I remember that being tough fights as well, but tough fights against people who are still vulnerable to our cipher weapons, so hopefully it should be easier. The young woman wears a simple but well tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. My wife says it's the soothing voice that gets our daughter to go to bed. Hey, I'll take it. How would you rank the Pillars of Eternity companions? Who are your favorites? Maybe you could do a tier list video or something at some point. That sounds like a good idea. Sure. I'm definitely down for that. I want to get to the point where I recruit the ones that are in the White March DLC before I make a final decision, because I don't want to just go off memory. But yeah, absolutely. I'd be down for a tier list of which companions I like the most. But Durance, obviously, I'm a big fan of. Grieving Mother, I'm also a really big fan of. I like Aloth, but I think I like Aloth more in the second game because then you really know all of his history and the things that he's been through. You have some ability to impact his personality. And so I really enjoy him more in the second game. I also enjoy Pallegina a lot in the first game. Haven't liked her in the second game because I always ended up choosing an ending that caused her to lose her standing with her government. And so she was very bitter towards me the entire time in Pillars of Eternity 2. So in this game, I'm definitely going to get an ending that allows her to retain a good standing with her peers to see what is the change and how she's going to deal with me then. But I'm a big fan of Pallegina and all her sass as well, and her looks. And I feel like mechanically she's great as well. What's the Ducal Palace? It's the seat of government here in Defiance Bay. This is where Duke Admeth Hadrid declared freedom from Adirian rule some 150 years ago. She lowers her voice and grins. It's also a hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Multiply that by 10, and it would be just like the Republic's. Looking for news? Who are you? I'm a page here at the palace. I deliver messages and run errands for the Duke and his advisors. The pay is not great, but I can't think of a better introduction to politics. What goes on in here? She laughs. Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings, and ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work, so there's always someone bartering for a favor. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. But if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Margarine, official records, and chambers for public hearings and council meetings. Tell me about the Shrine of Margarine. It's a symbol of Margaret's protection of Defiance Bay. She's represented the revolutionary spirit of the Deerwood ever since independence, and her involvement in creating the Godhammer bomb only affirmed her importance to us. That's also where the first of the sacred fires burn. Even if you're not the pious sort, it's quite a sight. What kind of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff, census counts, tax records, militia registers. Now I keep my distance. I got curious one day and got drafted into reshelving half of the records. She yawns. Worst day of my life. Is there a hearing going on right now? Sure is. Duke Avar's been meeting with some of the city leaders for weeks now, trying to figure out how to address the legacy. The whole business is terribly secret, though. I tried to sit in the gallery during my lunch break one day and got turned away. She sniffs. But a lot of the talk concerns animancy, so there's good reason they're keeping the meetings behind closed doors. The legacy? Wadwin's legacy. That's what a lot of people call the rash of Hollowborn. The theory goes that it's punishment for meddling in animancy. Why is animancy so controversial? She laughs. Where to begin? Traditionalists think it's a crime against the gods. There's no question that poking around in souls is risky, but the more progressive elements believes it's our only shot at restoring healthy births. And it doesn't help matters that animancy research often involves old and Gwithan relics that were illegally looted from ruins in Erglanfoth. She makes a quick, twitching motion with her index and middle fingers. What are Hollowborn? She raises an eyebrow. You really are fresh from the road. Hollowborn are children born without souls. They often don't live for very long, and those that do have generally received some kind of treatment from the animancers. So, what do you think about animancy? Me? I think the real danger of animancy is confusing a real scholar with an expensive fake. We get a new case here every day. Some poor couple in the Gift or Copper Lane who spent every copper they had on a miracle cure for their unborn child. It never works. She shakes her head. Breaks your heart, but there's usually nothing we can do for them. I see. Anyway, the legacy is what the politicians have all been whispering about lately. I'd like to ask about something else. Of course, I've always got my ear to the ground. Tell me about the current Duke. That will be Avar Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Avar rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what Defiance Bay needs. Goodbye. All right. Learn a little bit more about our neighboring area, most of which we already knew. All right, don't disappoint me. I'm looking for militia records. The man clears his throat. We've had a number of inquiries about such information. I'm afraid we've had to bar access to the public. Seems there are still quite a number of folk in Deerwood who bear ill will toward Red Sarens. It would be perhaps if you were more established. There is something peculiar about the record keeper's inflection. The differences are subtle, but it does not sound like any native Deerwoodan you've heard. We've come a long way. Just need to find my brother. Farewell. All right. Faintly good is apparently not enough. So, Threed, what's going on? How are you? How are things in Nebraska? Okay. Well, that didn't work out, but that's perfect. Next up, Brackenberry. Let's go. I think my town was literally called nowhere at some point. I don't know. Is it that small of a town? Brackenberry. Okay, and we want to go. Oh, we want to go to the inn because that should be where the lighthouse chick is, and then we will go to the Animancy headquarters. So, House Domino. Definitely don't want to go in there. They probably don't feel good about me at this time. Oh, I never realized the city is surrounded by Adra. That's pretty cool. I also playing through this again. I think it's cool that in this game, Adra is not really all that important. Like they don't really talk about it nearly as much. Whereas in Pillars of Eternity 2, it's all important. So going through this game again and seeing these instances of it popping up throughout the cities is actually pretty cool. Hey, I forgot we could turn this in for him as well. The fancy elf eyes you and your pack. Did you do it? Did you get the medallion from Sorrel? Give medallion. Yes. Thwistron's eyes are as wide and round as the artifact in his hands. You've given my people a gift we couldn't possibly repay. I'll do the best I can, though. He shoves a bag of coin into your hands. This is everything I have. Take it. Please. Thank you. You'll always be an honored guest among the Shattered Spear. Farewell. He hurries out of the inn, his fancy cloak dragging on the ground. Hey, good deed. Things are basically a desert with how little rain we seem to get where I live in Ohio. Oh, man, that's rough. Oh, she's supposed to be upstairs, right? If I remember correctly, that's the problem. It's pretty small. I still feel like I need to hoard all the snow cones and dump them into my pool and hop in. I don't even have a pool still. That's awesome. Mayor with. Have I? I've never really lived in a small town before. I lived in like a small suburb. Um, what what is the name of that freaking place? It's out by Schaumburg, but it's not Schaumburg. There's Schaumburg, there's Rockford. It starts with an E, but the name of that suburb escapes me. But that's the closest thing I've ever where I've lived to a small town. Other than that, I've always been like in Chicago, the Chicagoland area. Merowith watches you through cold-rimmed eyes. She puts her hand on the hilt of her blade, jangling the jewels that hang from her wrists. We don't know each other, stranger. Best we keep it that way. How are things in Slanderland? I got absolutely no complaints, sir. I had to go into the job today for a social function they were having. They served Giordano stuffed pizza. It was delicious. Very, very nice. I haven't had stuffed pizza in I don't know how long. Got to see some people I haven't seen in quite some time. It was all in all really good feeling. I had a great time, and everything's all well with the family. Someone at the ooh, you don't seem like a Brackenberry local. I'm a sailor. She gives you a half smile and a liberator of certain goods. Merowith casually fingers a large earring. And the nice thing about the snobs here is that they're usually too polite to ask more. What brings you to the charred barrel? Merowith raises an eyebrow. What's it look like? Good wine and a little peace and quiet. She flips a copper coin with her thumb, and Scarian doesn't ask too many questions. Someone at the old lighthouse in Andra's gift was looking for your ship. There's pain in her mind, Watcher. The pain of a child's abandonment. It never goes away. I didn't peg you for a liar, at least not from what I've heard. She looks you over, narrowing her eyes. I really like this system, by the way. The idea that the things that you do have a ripple effect where people just have just know things about you, like know your reputation. And so you're known for being a really nice guy or a real jerk. I feel like that works really well here. It works even better in the second game. There are some really crazy, crucial moments where your ranking in certain things might directly affect how people relate to you. I think that's super cool and actually more effective than like the Mass Effect system where you just raise your Paragon score, and because of that, it affects how persuasive you are. I much rather have a situation where my reputation is the reason why I'm so persuasive. But that don't mean I don't. But that don't mean I believe you. She leans in, her voice a low hiss. You'd better explain what gave you such an interesting notion. The last lighthouse keeper watched for your ship every day. It's all in the log. No. Her snarl flashes a gold tooth. She turned me out. We were poorer than the fishermen who live there now. When she learned I put food on our table with stolen coin, she told me that if she never saw me again, it'd be the mercy of the gods. Her darkened eyes are filled with rage. I had nowhere else to go, and it was a rough life until I rose to captain. She ignored the Adir and advanced to stay behind. I think she was waiting for you. She turns her eyes away. She was always so stubborn. I forget sometimes where I got it. She gulps down the rest of her wine. I'll go. Perhaps it will give both of us some peace. How can I borrow the neighbors? Do you dislike living in a small town? Yes, I love that system where your actions have consequences. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want my actions to have an effect. It raises the replay value of the game so much. Close that. That's all good. And we're not ready for that yet, so continue on. Yeah, the rep system sounds really interactive. I wish more games would do something similar. I do too. I love how interactive it is. Hey, but you know what I really love about this game that I had actually forgotten about? If you go into the character record and you scroll down, it tracks so many stats about what all the characters have done. How many enemies have you defeated? What's the most powerful enemy? Who's defeated the most enemies? What's the most total damage done? What is your highest single target damage? Most crits? Who's had the most regular hits? Who's taken the most damage? Like, it's tracking all of that stuff. And I think that is so fantastic. I wish more games kept track of more of that general information so that you can know at a glance what's really happening with your team. Sometimes it's difficult to be able to, figure all that out just from watching the game. I love those nuanced statistics. Oh, it's all right, I guess. Very quiet. I like quiet. Yep, that's the advantage of living in a small town. You get that quiet that you might not be able to get otherwise. I 100% agree. What level are we? We're seventh level. I think we're high enough level to do that quest for the guy in the castle.
Hail and well met.
Ah, the Watcher. What brings you here? Are you the animancer who's been buying relics from Imal? There's a large and rather notorious black market for uncatalogued and Gwithan relics. I stay far away from it. I'm looking for an animancer named Mordred. Mordred, of course. You will find him downstairs in the first room on the right. Does anyone here know anything about awakenings? There's an animancer on the lower floor who came all the way from Rivua to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Bella Siege. You may have a member of the Leaden Key in your midst. Ethelmore groans and the stone around him shudders. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they've meddled or whether calamity has struck on its own. But a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are at odds with the Leaden Key as well, I take it? They are up to something, and I am trying to determine what. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have some idea of who this person might be? I suspect it's a patient. Very well. In that case, I would recommend you speak first with our resident animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here or in their office downstairs. You report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. Farewell. All right, let's get the good times rolling. Yeah, those stats are neat. Yep, absolutely, I enjoy it. Community is very tight knit. Yeah, that's the advantage of living in a small town. You got people around you really care about you. There are very few people, even though I live in this large area. I'm not sure how many people actually care about me, and would actually, stand up for me if something really ugly happened. What spell would you recommend for a first level blood mage? In what game? Something else you need? Are you the animancer who's been buying relics from Imitel? From what? I do not know this place. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. She laughs bitterly. That would be me. The lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I'd like to transfer animancy's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already awakened, but I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're in luck. I have a volunteer. Oh, the second one. I was about to say, I'm like, I don't think you could be a blood mage in this one, can you? Honestly, I played Pillars of Eternity 2 when it first came out. There's been a ton of patches, ton of rebalancing, a ton of things that changed in the game. I couldn't give you any good advice about it, to be honest with you. She springs to the balls of her feet, beaming. Galadard, who is it? Olive's lips curl into a frown. I don't know about this. I'm so frustrated. I understand. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon? I jest. You adherents are so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Olive by the shoulders and steers him to the couch. And try to relax. But don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Indeed. His eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animancer fastens thick copper bands to Alla's forehead and wrist. As she ratchets them tighter, his face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knobs, dials, and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with Adra lenses cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Ismail more? I like that lady. His mind is full of hesitations, angles upon angles. Drawing him out of his own fears will be difficult. She raises a finger. But first, we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Good luck. You'd have an easier time getting straight answers out of a drunk priest of whale. That's awesome. Alo squirms on the couch. Very well. She holds the scope to his eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal. Something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was a normal child living in the Sithwood. He looks to you. His face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension showed through nevertheless. What do you remember about your home? As you speak to Allah, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mist of his own memory. Belisage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. His closes his eyes, comfortable, modest, quiet when mother is away, which is most of the time, quiet enough to hear the clink of glass on wood. This is when I know to be most careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she is home, is good at pretending not to notice them. This is good. I am starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she is around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment, I am sweeping the kitchen. The next, I am sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots, glistening with fresh polish, thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals. But it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Madiko! Belisage furiously cranks the knobs along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with this old memory. You've got to bring him out of it. Quickly. I almost have it. Squeeze Olaf's hand. You're safe. Everything's fine. Olaf's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. You're never safe when I hop up on him. Belisage sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence, something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over her scope. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. There's other games where you could be a spoopy blood mage besides Dragon Age and Pillars of Eternity 2. Blood mage, blood mage, blood mage. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I think Dragon Age is the best representation of a evil blood mage that I've ever seen in gaming. I can't think of any good games that have like really nice representations of a blood mage. Well, except Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines if you're playing as a Tremere. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voice high and I. That warm molasses feeling that crisps down your gut when crisis is nigh. That's different. Belfito, we have flares of a totally distinct essence. She jots shorthand notes onto the page next to her and turns one clicking knob of her scope. Now, try to get the two of them talking. Esomir, tell Aloth why you've awakened. Fie, he's the one needed me, hiding in his own bone bag like a turtle in its shell. Aloth's face twists in fury. I never turned it over to you. Good. Yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling, only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the spaces that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circling of her wrist, quill still in hand. Go on. Esomir, what exactly are you taking from him? Nigh more than I'm giving. You should ask what I did that old man of his. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I break it in 3 places. Aloth's head jerks to the side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. Oh yeah, played that. It was so good. Yep. So those two, I feel like, are probably the best representations of blood maze that I've had in gaming. I can't think of any other really good examples. Not sure if any other people in the chat can, maybe. Now I was awaking, but now I'm stuck with you, and damned if I let you ninny and drag us both through the scupper. Ach, very good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I finally got something we could work with. I've tracked Isomir's essence through the exchange. She had a particularly high-density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seemed to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left ribcage. That's right around the spleen, which, of course, means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Olive blinks back at you, and in the midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utter horseshit. How gracious. She glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation? You're close. I think Isomir's appearances are related to potential sources of trouble for Aloth. Belisage carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Aloth. I suppose that could be true. She jots another note. I have to check this against other research. He removes the copper bands. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisage frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. Ismail tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. She did you a favor. I think she's trying to help you. She did you a favor by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods, but you should hear her out. If you had to listen to her half as much as I do, you wouldn't say that, he scowls. But you notice something thoughtful in his frown. I've got a lot to process. Regardless, thank you for your help, Slandered. He does not look at Belisage. She sets her notes on her desk and returns to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toaster reviewer of Fentre Aloth. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advancing the right-wise principle of adamancy. Just what you've always wanted. As you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out of the corner of your eye. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aloth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not after her nonsense. You know what? I've always helped him in this. And I have no idea what happens if you let her publish her research. We're going to let her publish her research this time. No, you get your explanation and she gets her research. That was the deal. He slides the papers back onto the desk, giving you a rueful look. I'm not going to help you explain this one, Scholar Boy. Awesome. All right. We'll follow up on that conversation later. Let's talk with Mayor Wall, or Mordred, rather. Are you the animator who's been buying relics from Imitel? Who? I don't have time to barter with adventurers if that's what this is about. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. I hear that Valiant woman studies them. You should go talk to her instead. Has anything unusual been happening around here? You must be joking. This is a sanitarium. Nothing is usual down here. He pauses. Although now that I think of it, the patients seem more agitated lately, but they're Cadmanazzo's responsibility, not mine. Mordred nods, taking a deep breath. Then, if there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. I think it kind of sucks you can't have a discussion with him about this chest. I seem to remember that if you actually help that lich from before and open it, it opens up and kills everybody. Or rather, kills Mordred.
How do you do?
A young Orlan woman traces her fingers along the spines of the book in front of her. Row by row, her motions quick and skittish like a bird's. She does not notice you until you are nearly up on her. Oh my, you startled me. Are you supposed to be in here? Can't wait until the first-person game that takes place in this universe comes out. Avowed? Absolutely looking forward to Avowed. Really disappointed, honestly, that we haven't heard anything about it yet. I thought that I don't remember what that conference was, the Microsoft conference maybe, but I thought we were already going to have information about it, which is kind of scary. It makes you wonder about how the development is going, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what they come up with. Are you the animator who's been buying relics from Imitel? I'm not an animator, so no, but I do know that most of these relics are stolen from ruins in Eric Glanfoth. Selling them is illegal. If there's nothing else, I need to get back to my work. I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. Me? I'm just Master Ozzo's assistant, but there's a visiting scholar from Ravua here named Bellaseed. She claims to know about them. What do you do here? I mostly help Master Ozzo set up and clean his equipment. I also keep his office organized since he's too busy to do it himself. I'm investigating any suspicious activity in the sanitarium. Oh, I'm just Master Ozzo's assistant. He know more about that, but he's in the middle of busy with some patients. You won't be able to see him until he comes out from the patient ward. How do I get into the patient ward? Only Master Ozzo has access. I guess Head Warden Ethelmere does too, but he's, a statue now. Is Ozzo busy with patients or is he running some sort of experiment? I'm just an assistant. It's not my place to gossip. I'm sorry. Farewell. That's kind of goofy that they have you come down and then make you go all the way back up. Come on now. You're a PlayStation guy? How far back did you have the PlayStation 1? And, oh yeah, since they've been bought by Microsoft, is definitely not coming to PlayStation. So yeah, you're right. Have you learned anything of interest? Maybe. Is Cadman Ozzo running experiments on the patients here? Experiments? Cadman Ozzo is in charge of patient welfare now. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Cadman. I had hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient's wards. I am granting you immediate access so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak to him further on this matter, and I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. Ooh, 2 people with the PS1. That's interesting. So I didn't start gaming. I wasn't allowed to really have video games as a kid. The only reason I was allowed to play King's Quest is because my father liked the idea of his kids playing games that required them to use their minds. And he saw King's Quest as more like a puzzle game, so he was cool with it. But I never had a game system, even though everybody else on my block did. So it wasn't until I actually was out on my own as an adult in the world that I actually really got into video games. And the first video game that really must have spent all their copper on the upstairs. The first video game that really impressed me was Knights of the Old Republic. The crooked board showed deep gouge marks. Their space like folk or elven fingernails. And of course, that was only available on the Xbox. So I basically made me an Xbox guy. Crooked chalk tally marks cover the surface of this table. I don't remember where. Oh, here we go. Who's this frail chick? Was given the first PlayStation PS1 back in 2000 for my 6th birthday. Is that right? Man, that's a nice gift. James, what's going on? I can't complain. How are you? I'm enjoying it so far. I really love Pillars of Eternity. So to be able to get back into it and do it for the channel, definitely working for me. A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at you. You must be visiting someone. Then, noting your appearance, she adds, a friendly visit, I hope. What do you know about this animator, Azo? Ooh, I like him very much. Many animators could care less about their patients. Look at us like vermin for their experiments. But Master Azo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You could tell he does this to help people. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. Wait, no, it was Christmas. Birthday, Christmas, same deal. Still a great, absolutely fantastic present. So what was your favorite game on the PS1? Awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad you're doing well, James. What happened to Azo? Freyo's eyes dart back and forth, and her voice lowers to just above a whisper. They don't like to talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Deerwood. That his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash. Even if he was a bit of a showman, he loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work, suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it. But he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. That doesn't sound good. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it. Had some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. Gods know that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies in Andra's gift? No, tell me. They call them buos because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. The grieving mother's hands fly to her ears, and her mouth frames a silent scream. Only her mind speaks. Evils that magnify tragedies. This is what we must stop. Anyway, Master Azo has scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. And then the next day, he was locked in his office, turning away visitors, I heard, and he stopped seeing patients. I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Every time I got a new PlayStation, it was Christmas. Between Ape Escape and Dinosaur. Interesting. Medieval was the first game I ever remember playing on my PS1. Okay, interesting. These are all games that I haven't heard before. Ape Escape, Dinosaur, Medieval. Completely unfamiliar with them. Interesting. Did you all ever get to, what's a game that came out on both PlayStation and Xbox during that time? Final Fantasy wasn't coming out on Xbox during that time. But did you all ever get into Final Fantasy? Did you ever play them? Do you know where I might find Azo? I think I've seen him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? It shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time there lately. Have any of the patients here been acting unusually? Well, there's Batixa, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Edelman, who they say only has half a soul, and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from their normal behavior, I mean. Well, yes, I suppose, but nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Azo lets us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. It's Graham I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. Would I be able to visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know that I've ever seen the guards allow a visitor, just Master Azo. You might ask him. He's very sympathetic. Why are you in here? Behind her, behind her hair, her cheeks flush. I don't want to say. You'll think less of me. When you blush, it brings out the color of your eyes. Her blush deepens as she ducks her head forward to bury her face deeper beneath her hair. These last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I tried not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in the Saints' War. My daughters, the legacy took her before she was ever mine. I may do. What else can you do? I moved into a tiny place in Andra's gift, got by mending clothes and on the kindness of strangers when I had to. But I was surviving and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. Then one day this noblewoman comes in, wants this fancy gown fixed. Gorgeous thing. This shade of blue I'd never seen before. Only I had. I looked at it and it reminded me of something. I had what they call an awakening. I remember being a noblewoman myself in another life. People doting over me. Men doting over me. Me. The best food, the most beautiful home, all the things you'd never dare to dream of, they were mine. It was poison knowing that. All those things I have that I'll never have in this life, it did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls in my little room seemed to close in around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that or break into an estate and start ordering servants around. It seems like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it. And I start to wonder, did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? Nobody deserves to go through what you've gone through. I hope not. I can't even imagine the monster who deserves what half the patients here go through every day. Farewell. Interview Graham in the North Ward. I didn't get to play the medieval game until 2005, and that was the second one. I played the crap out of Final Fantasy IX. My first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy VIII, and I loved it. I had a fantastic time with it. Did I play 9? I can't remember if I played 9, but 10 was incredible as well. Ooh, Final Fantasy 2. You know, I've been thinking that was my favorite, best Final Fantasy story ever of all time. Really. So I was wondering if those older Final Fantasy games really hold up to the new ones. The first Final Fantasy game was actually 13, which is apparently infamous for being terrible. Might be biased as my first Final Fantasy game, but personally I thought it was okay. I also played 7 and 14. Never played 7. People keep telling me that it was the best story out of all the Final Fantasies. Obviously, 3 disagrees. That's what I've heard from others anyway. Yep. All right. I assume North Ward, you go north.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Who are you? Okay, you're just a patient.
See now what the flame has shown us?
What the flame has shown us? Patient, patient. Nothing there. See now what the flame has shown us? And more patience it seems. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. What's in here? Oh, that was available right there. That's interesting. Something churns and bubbles in this tank.
A simple test. That's settled.
Ooh, that was a weapon. The copper wires and conduits are shiny. The device is warm to the touch. I remember resetting whenever I lost a triple triad. Triple triad. That's got to be top 5 best mini games ever in a game, period. I mean, I used to love playing that card game.
That's settled.
Every single time I played the game, I made sure to take that all the way. Loved, loved, loved that. The copper wires and conduits are shiny. The device, oh, same deal. So, oh, same deal there too as well. Medieval has a remake. It's okay. Interesting. The pumpkin boss looks like a, well, it just looks horrifying. Remake had a lot of frame rate issues or something. Okay, so the remake part isn't really worth playing. A round-faced, balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
I heard you were demoted. How did it happen? Ozzo's nostrils flare and he bares his upper teeth more broadly. That's none of your concern. Did one of the others put you up to this? Aldmer, that smug weasel. Things went wrong. Everything. I don't know how. I'll never know. He spits on the floor as if to remove a bitter taste from his mouth. I'd like access to the North Ward. Out of the question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. Perception. Your forehead seems damp all of a sudden. Perhaps I should discuss your insubordination with the head warden.
You smug cretin. How dare you come down here and meddle? You have no idea the importance of my research.
He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, a growl simmering beneath his breath and a deep scowl compressing his face.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
He pulls a heavy key from one of his pockets and nearly slams it down on the floor before handing it to you. Are you the animator who's been buying relics from Immatel? Are you trying to discredit me? Go dig elsewhere.
What is it now?
Ethelmore told me you're not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, Ethelmore hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved to an inanimate object, so I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If the animators all follow the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backward and willfully ignorant as Red Ceres. We would know nothing about life or death, or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark with no clue as to why. Animators must push the boundaries of knowledge, but you must be careful, Ozzo. Even Defiance Bay isn't as safe for research as it once was. You're right about that much. There are certain questions that have to be asked.
Precisely. I am down here defying my masters because there is good I can do here. And I will not let a bureaucracy stand in the way of that.
Yeah, it's the main character's called Squall, and he had a scar going down his face. Yep, that's the one. Couldn't wrap your head around the leveling system. Yeah, the leveling system was different. Like you had to draw magic out of enemies you would face, and then you had to basically put it in conjunction with your stats, and different types of magic would have different effects on your stats, and how much you had drawn out of a particular spell would impact how heavily it would affect your stats. So like you didn't actually ever want to cast magic. You just wanted to have it drawn out in large amounts up to 100 and then assign it to a particular stat to basically boost up your regular attacks. It was definitely weird. No doubt about it. I love that game, but the leveling system was super weird.
Who will solve Widewen's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Have you tried your experiments on any other subjects? I have, yes. No point in lying about it now that Ethelmir is involved. I asked for volunteers from our patients, and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to a breakthrough. They understood that. They understood their sacrifices would mean something. Farewell. All right. I'm going to assume this right up here is the North Ward. I made one mistake, and the entire later half got literally impossible. That didn't happen to me in Final Fantasy VIII. It did happen to me in Final Fantasy X. Like the first time you faced Sin, yeah, I got brutalized and realized, okay, this build that I thought was going to be so great, it's not working. It's not working at all. This is not going to work. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell. Gawkish and stoop-shouldered, he stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. Reach out for his soul. You close your eyes and edge forward towards the boy's soul, and as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory, and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You are standing in a cell now, the same cell in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds, the same stops every time, the misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing toward the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly, you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart toward the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel you are strong again. You step heavy-footed down corridors unheeded by the other constructs and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl. But this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous, unlike the others. This one has no soul of its own. The man speaks, and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. But the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings, and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back up at the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there is obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, then another, and another. You look up at the man, give him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks, at a volume meant for the crowd, and this is the moment. At the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hands outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panic screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room you have seen before, expansive, with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There's no mistaking now that it is the soul of the man who calls your awakening that gazes out from that borrowed husk. A watcher. I believe we share a common past. I'm just looking for some answers. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he was about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look. You hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face, there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then, suddenly, he slumps forward. All right, 1 second. I need a drink after all that. I pride myself on not using cheat codes. I'll still use them when I beat the game and just screw around. But I had to use cheat codes for Final Fantasy VIII after that. Hey, man, we do what we got to do. More glitches and tips than cheat codes. But the same thing, really. I got you. Better than having to restart a 100-hour game from scratch. Come on now. That would not have been fun at all. That's the same thing I did with Final Fantasy X, except I still started it over. But then I looked at some guides and whatnot, like, okay, what do I need to be doing in the lead up to this fight to make sure I don't end up having to restart the whole freaking game twice? sparkling water. I prefer not to drink my calories, so oh damn! I should have. I completely forgot. I should have switched it up so that editor was pointed this way. Oh well. Is that? Where's grieving mother? Oh, she's right up here with me. Yeah, both of you move back. Okay. And then do this. You choose someone else, any else. What is the problem? Oh, she's still right there. That's the problem. Actually, let's do that. That'll help some. That did not help at all, actually. Okay. First of all, where is Allah? Oh, he's here, and he's going to get absolutely annihilated. It just is what it is. You. I just never feel like you're doing enough healing. Let's do that. You. Freeze somebody. Anybody. You. Same deal. Let's get some of these people frozen. Help yourselves out. This person obliterated. Are you frozen? You're frozen. You're not. Excellent. Okay, much better. Now, she'll go here. Oh, she didn't even need that. Okay, cool. Now, he was doing that. And you go over here. Who's that? Is that Durant's? Yeah. There we go. And there we go. You. Move over a little bit more. Get them some of the good stuff. There we go. Go big if you want to. Go big if you want to. You. Oh, wait. No. You can stay over there. You. Move over here. There we go. And you, re-up. You do for a re-up almost, right? Yep. There you go. And then you're almost about to do the same thing. We good? Yeah. Very, very nice. Uh-oh.
Certainly.
Whole lot of screaming. That's not good.
Certainly.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
The chains groan with added weight. Crescent bite marks pit the edges of the cot. This bucket reeks of offal. Woo! Friday the 29th. Hey! Happy early birthday. You got any special plans for your birthday? And glad that you enjoyed the stream. I'm trying. I'm actually working on updating some things about it. I know, like, the welcome screen and all that is looking kind of cheap right now. I'm working with an artist to get all that nice and updated and consistent. In fact, I plan to do a makeover of a lot of things on the channel. So just work with me. Give me time. I'm still new to all this. Awaken, what's going on? How are you? Yeah, I'm back. Slowly but surely making progress through this long game. Loving it so far. Oh, what's that, actually? What? Oh, was that just hirelings? Oh, barracks construction started? Wait, no, that should be... Oh, okay. I don't know why it says started when I asked for this quite a while ago, but okay. Whatever. I swear I thought that one of these jail cells held like a secret object that you could only detect if you were sneaking, but maybe that's not the case. All right. These screams from back over there are getting really disturbing. Let's go ahead and deal with that now. There we go. Doom, da, doom, da, doom, doom. Come on. There we go. Wait. Why didn't she? Oh, crap. It's too many people blocking her. Pallegina, why are you just standing around? There we go. There we go. Oh, that's right. How you gonna be out and about doing things when? Yeah. I understand. So, have you been to a doctor or anything? Like, did you get any sort of recommendation on how long it's gonna take to heal from that? When looking at your base updates, the words at the top are the most recent. Oh, okay, dokie. He's just not giving me anything? Okay, he's not giving me anything. So wait, when I look at this, taxes collected. Okay, you know what? That makes more sense. Thank you. Thank you.
Be constant.
Woo. Oh, yeah, you guys are getting... You guys are getting destroyed. You, on the other hand, you might be a problem. There we go. We might need to... Oh, nope. We're good.
I'll see what I can find.
That's... Ooh, they're getting ripped up in this main part section. I seem to remember that the fight that's in this section is actually harder than the main one. 12 cents. Ooh, what's this? Somebody used to work here. All right. I see that you made a Witch King on Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. You get to ride a dragon. Cool. I am the dragon, sorcerer, dragon lich for this guy. I couldn't get a creature that was, you know, closer to the actual monstrosity that the Witch King rides in the movie, so I just did the best that I could. Grieving Mother, go ahead and freeze him. You go ahead and give him a little something to think about. There we go. I couldn't get an appointment with my doctor till next Friday, unfortunately. So until then, I'll just have to apply some calamine cream. Did you tell your doctor's office you got freaking poison ivy and you're going crazy? Because it's kind of wild that they would say, well, you know, we're not available right now. Like, when you got emergencies going on, they're supposed to make an exception.
Yes.
It can't always be, well, this is the next slot we got.
I'll see what I can find.
It's a bad build with charisma as my main stat in Lich being intelligence focused. Yeah, I had to really weigh the options when I was looking at what attributes to use for that Witch King build. Because like you said, considering Lich and the spells that you have available, you want to make sure that you're getting everything you possibly can out of it. What have you done? What have I done? All right, we're good, right? Do they kill the people in here? Okay, no. These people are all good. Oh, but that would be stealing. Okay, fine. I'm getting out of here. It's not safe here anymore. Who's this? Oh, it's just a regular patient who said that. Oh, did that mean that, did they rip apart old girl? That's not cool. Cypher is so fun and OP. I love Cypher in this game. I played Cypher in Pillars of Eternity 2, not nearly as impressed with it. But in Pillars of Eternity 1, Cypher is fantastic. What the blazes happened down there? You were given permission to ask questions. It's complicated. A patient of yours, Uskrim, was working for the Leaden Key, only without knowing it. Yeah. You finish your explanation, and Ethiomir breaks his silence. I have read accounts of people in history who could do what you describe. The accounts are few and brief and never reliable. Some go as far to suggest that they are all the same person. If truly such a person was here among us plotting our ruin, would that I had a body again and could be of some real use in our time of need. I fear what the future may hold for this place. I am grateful you were able to dispatch the threat before there was loss of innocent life. We very nearly had another scandal on our hands. What of Azo? What part did his experiments play in this catastrophe? The Leaden Key would have found a way to interfere with the sanitarium even without Azo. The Leaden Key would have found a way to interfere with the sanitarium even without Azo. Your half answer suggests a bias, but it also suggests it's as close to the truth as I'll get from you. Cadman will remain here, but he will be monitored, and under no circumstances will he have access to any equipment. They just gave the now usual excuse of COVID impacting their ability to give appointments and stuff. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. All right. So we're good? Is that it?
Greetings.
Okay. I think that resolves that. Now, with that being completed, ooh,
Good day, stranger.
beg your pardon. I have a message for you. You are summoned to Hadred House, where Lady Webb wishes to meet with you as soon as possible. They say she's an ancient spider, spinning her nets throughout the city. He gives you a careful look. If she wishes to see you, that either bodes very well or very ill. How did you know where to find me? Well, it's Lady Webb. She knows everything. Tell me about Lady Webb. Do you not know Lady Webb? Well, no one's seen her exactly in a long time, but she's the mistress of Dunrid Row. Has been for as long as anyone can remember. He pauses, eyeing passerby with suspicion. Quietly, he continues. She's supposed to be old, older than anybody, and she never leaves her room. Some say she's wasted away and she's just a pile of bones kept animated by dark magics. She's still at it, best anyone can tell, learning things, keeping us safe, pulling the strings behind the throne, too, it said. Has a ring of ciphers doing her bidding, telling her everything that goes on. You do wrong in this country. Before you go asking the gods for forgiveness, best you ask Lady Webb first. What's Dunrid Row? A whole mess of ciphers run out of Hadred House. They make it their business to keep the peace, but they don't like you to see them do it. Problems in this city have a way of going away on their own, and when that happens, you can make a pretty good guess as to why. Where can I find Hadred House? It's just over there, my lord, the southwest corner of Brackenberry. You'll find the lady upstairs. Very well. Let's talk to the lady. Ooh, somebody over there I didn't loot. As you near the apparition, you are overcome suddenly by a powerful anxiety that sits like a stone in your stomach. The feeling is not quite real, the recollection of an emotion rather than the emotion itself. It wrenches your insides nevertheless. The apparition's brow is tense, a look of concern playing across its face.
The other missionaries say you have been neglectful of your duties.
My mind has been elsewhere.
Oh? And what troubles you?
The pain in your stomach deepens, and you feel for a moment as though you are about to be sick. Your mouth has gone dry. Forgive me, Eminence. I wish to leave the order. The man folds his fingers together and presses them to his mouth, thoughtful.
You have been an apt student, and your convictions have inspired those around you. May I ask what has changed to make you feel this way?
The people we intended to convert, they committed unspeakable acts, sacrifices, mutilations. The apparition exhales slowly and its lips pressed together, a sympathetic rapport in its eyes. It places its hand on your shoulder.
These are the ways of the heathen world.
Surely the gods would do better to destroy us all and start anew.
Perhaps they would. It may come to that one day. This is why we must not fail. The heathens are beyond the gods' reach. They do not know better. We are tasked with delivering them to the gods, so that the gods may heal their souls.
Is such a thing possible?
I have seen it with my own eyes. You will see it too, if you choose to remain.
TARDIS, what's going on? How are you doing? Hope you've been having a good evening so far.
There is no greater calling than the one we have chosen. Neither words, nor wealth, nor battle will end this suffering. Only the gods. Will you give them that chance?
The knot in your stomach seems to loosen all at once, and the anxiety is replaced with something else entirely, something warm and soothing, and it is something you know you can never repay. As the vision fades, you start to become cognizant of the many odd looks aimed in your direction. Your last response echoes in your mind. I will. Awesome. What did we leave behind? Oh, just some regular stuff to sell. Okay. And we go here, and I believe she is upstairs, if I remember correctly. Although I have no idea what she asked us to do. How can I help you, my Lady Webb? Lady Webb will see you now. Let's do a full save just in case. And this is Lady
Thoughts will be
Webb.
as silent as my feet.
And all right, now there's all that. Oh, nope. We'll have to get that stuff later. The notes are scribbled in a cryptic shorthand. Dude, a Fury Druid in first person would be so sick. Fury Druids could turn into Beelwax. I misspelled that 100%. Yeah, we'll see what they allow you to do in Awaken. That'll be very, very interesting. Yeah, man, been a good day. Hope yours is good as well. I got absolutely no complaints. It was a good day overall, and now I get to end it with some gaming. Works for me. This woman clutches a thick stack of parchment with spinally wrinkled fingers, their flesh stretched thin to near translucent with extreme age, a gossamer veil over pale blue veins. Ink splotches and candle burns dot and stripe her hands like a quilt, patterned after some great indescribable truth. She does not look up from her reading.
So, the messenger conveyed my summons. A miracle that would make the reincarnation of Aothis look like a child's cantrip, surely. It doesn't draw the most inspired minds, messaging. They failed me so many times of late, I nearly sent a cipher after you instead. So this is the Watcher who took over Cad Noir. Oh, don't look so surprised. It isn't an attractive expression. I wouldn't be where I am for long if I let details like that escape me.
This is exactly what I would picture Allah's mother to be like.
And this fiasco in the sanitarium that you seem to have gotten yourself into the middle of. What in blazes possessed you to stir that nest of trouble?
Yeah, that's how the game kicks off. I know what you're referring to, and I absolutely agree that if you could play that as a first-person form, that'd be amazing. It'll be really interesting how much of the class and mechanics from here end up transferring into Awaken, or Avowed, rather. I'm sorry. I'm investigating a strange group.
Strange does not begin to describe them. The practices of the Leaden Key defy all reason.
Camera, what's going on? Hope you're having a good night, man.
You're not the only one with an interest in their recent activities. I've lost 4 ciphers this year alone trying to get someone inside their ranks. As it is, we only have our suspicions about who is in the group and what they intend, which I suppose means we have much in common with them. I asked you here because I wanted to know what your interest was in all of this. I thought perhaps we might help each other. Why are you looking for the Leaden Key?
I ran across a man in one of the ruins. It's important that I find him again. She closes her eyes and the lids flicker. Then her face goes still and her mouth parts, little more than a sliver, and her hand briefly drops open, spilling some of her parchment to the ground. The page is wafting around her legs like the leaves of a dying tree. Her fleshy eyelids peel back, and her gaze is immediately upon you.
The gods are cruel, I'm afraid. The man you seek is Theos Ix Arcanon, Grand Master of the Leaden Key. One of the most elusive and dangerous men Eora has ever known.
Doing nothing. That's exactly the way it works, man. When you've got a bunch of things to do, you go ahead, you get them done. You've got adrenaline. You could probably do even more things. But when you got one of them days where there's nothing to do, you'll spend all day doing nothing and still be tired at the end of it. That's just how it works. How do you know I seek Theos?
Because you have seen his face, and that makes it a simple matter for me to see it. You even happened to catch him in his ceremonial garb, it seems. Must have been a special occasion.
What can you tell me about Theos?
More than most, though very few would know so much as his name. And there is no way of knowing how much of what I've read is true. The Leaden Key dates back more than 2,000 years. If rumors are to be believed, Theos was the one who created it. What scraps of evidence exist suggest that he has died many times, only to be reborn each time exactly the same man. Awakened during adolescence with all the knowledge and experience of all his lifetimes. The plots he orchestrates sometimes take hundreds of years to bear fruit. Needless to say, this is not the natural order of things. But he is said to be one of Woodica's favored, and that old bat was never one to let rules get in the way of favoritism. That may also explain another supposed gift of his. His body is no boundary to his soul, and he is known to take possession of others, if their souls are weak enough. Often it is for elaborate deceptions, but sometimes he simply forces them to kill themselves. He is not known for his generous supply of pity.
Is Corpse Eater under a druid? Is that a druid subclass? Indeed, I did basically nothing all day, yet still feel exhausted. That's the way it always works, Argo.
He is also not one to show himself in any but their most critical matters. If he has directly involved himself in whatever the group plots now, it may be your only chance to find him. And once you do find him, if you can find him, I would not hold my hopes too high if I were you. He is a driven, single-minded man. He will not have the slightest concern for your problems.
How do you know so much about Theos?
The same way I come by all my knowledge. Exhaustive research, spying, bribery, perhaps some less savory measures. Whatever the knowledge demands, I pay in full. There is nothing of greater value. Unfortunately, with Theos, there is also nothing more scarce. He has covered his tracks far too well. His manipulations of the course of history are lost to time now, though I believe they were many.
Barbarian. So, you want to avoid that subclass. Do you have a favorite subclass that you're really hoping they bring into Avowed? Outside of just base druid? What else is there to know about the Leaden Key?
Precious little, I'm afraid. You may know much of it already. No one member knows the identity of more than a handful of other members. They are kept in the dark of missions they are not involved in, or sometimes of those they are involved in. They exist to hide secrets they themselves don't know. If you can imagine how gullible someone must be for that to appeal. Despite that, they are very good at what they do, owing much to their founder, who will take matters into his own hands when necessary. And he does not fail.
What do you want from me?
Keep me informed. The Leaden Key has been busy lately, and that is distressing news. I can only guess as to what they intend. You seem to have a knack for turning the stones they've crawled beneath. Keep turning them. Dunreed Row will not stop you.
Hey, fat diet. That's awesome.
Whatever it is they're up to, figuring it out will be of great use to both of us. In your case, it will surely point you to Theos. In return, I will share our knowledge with you as we learn it, and provide you with what assistance I can.
Very well.
If you find your trail has run cold, come to me with whatever you have. There is much I may be able to do for you.
There is something I can tell you about the Leaden Key's operations.
Well, let's hear it.
I found Theos in Brackenberry Sanitarium impersonating a patient. He was trying to damage the public's opinion of animancy.
Forgive me. It is unlike Theos to leave witnesses. He must be furious. He did not aid you as you'd hoped, I take it? Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep.
Sounds like it'd be great for an evil playthrough. A nice, funny, fad-diet evil playthrough.
This news of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods. This would not be the Leaden Key's first action against it. But if this is connected to their other activities, we may be in for something on a much larger scale. If we can learn more about their goals and methods, perhaps we can get the palace behind us. With Avar's support, we may be able to put a stop to this.
That's all. This progress is encouraging. I only hope that we are not too late. I have other questions.
Yes?
Tell me more about Dunreed Row.
All the things there are to know in this world, and you ask me about work. Deerwood is a rebel country. Conflict is in its blood. If you think a few guards posted in our cities keep chaos at bay, you are very new to town indeed. We are Deerwood's cipher investigators, of course. But what we really are is its last barrier against anarchy. People are more at ease when they believe they are watched over by someone more enlightened than they are. It pacifies them. So that is the image we foster. And we do try to be enlightened for their sake. The knowledge we gather here is Deerwood's standing army in many ways. We learn what's vital and we act on it while Deerwood sleeps, blissfully unaware of the terrifying truths all around them. I wish I could tell people the things I know sometimes. But the truth is, I don't think many of them could bear it.
How did you come to be here?
Me? I started this place. In a different time, under a different duke. I impressed the duke with my research and my work ethic, and he became possessed of the notion that I would be ideal to lead a secret network of gifted investigators. I don't know how such an idea got into his head.
She winks. How old are you? She gives a half-hearted gasp and covers her mouth with her crumbled fingers. You wicked man. Where are your manners? Were you raised without a shred of decency?
I lost count ages ago. Such a strange thing to celebrate, getting closer to death. Oh, I've had my share of work done to prolong my existence, if that's what you're wondering. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not done here. There are things I still wish to learn. And I'll be the effigy if I let Bereth carry me off before I'm through.
So, Threed, you also played Skyrim, right? Did you have a favorite class in Skyrim when you went through it?
There was a time when I considered enlisting the theorems of Pondgrum to extend my life indefinitely. I found the thought of devouring my political enemies to sustain my own life greatly appealing. I must have gone soft with age.
I got to level 80 twice and basically cleared damn near everything in that game. Like, as much as I love that game, I'll probably never play it for the channel because I was so sick of it by the time we got through. Oh, I was ready to be done with that game. Are you psychic?
If you are hoping I can look at your hand and tell you whom you should marry, you can just wipe that notion from your mind. I do not know what will happen tomorrow. That is what I pay spies for. Being a cipher is not unlike being a watcher. You notice more about what is already there.
Yeah, it doesn't have specific classes, but I mean, it has things that clearly go together, like, sneak and using arrows or having a magic, specialized in a particular type of magic and being able to use enchantment. So, like, were you more of a magic person, a melee person, an archery person, or kind of a combination of everything? Always signed up for Thieves Guild. I loved all the guilds. I loved going through all the guild quest lines. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. Definitely like the Thieves Guild, but I remember the Assassins Guild being one I was really entertained by as well.
Many can hold an object and know where it's been, or peer into the thoughts of people around them. They can also sometimes affect those thoughts, but that would be unethical, of course. A tiny, talented few pick up so much about the world around them, they can get images of things to come, but these are fleeting and unreliable.
You say you don't know what will happen tomorrow.
Who said I was talented? I don't. Least not that I can trust. And with me, it's only ever about one thing anyway.
What's that?
A quiet day at home.
Is there a Lord Webb?
There was.
What happened to him?
He believed in dying with dignity. He was old-fashioned that way, my husband. We saw the world very differently, he and I. But he was good to me while he lasted.
Let's talk about something else.
Yes?
Farewell.
Try your best not to die out there.
All right. No problem. So as I clear this stuff off, come to her and report. No problem. I reinstalled Skyrim this year with a ton of spicy mods. Got a repack pre-made off the internet. It was an experience. I always do Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, and Mage Guild in every TES game. Never finish the main plot line in any of them. Oh.
Feathers, lass.
Repeat, please, in Adirin. And stand closer so I can grab your neck if you said what I think you did.
That was Isilmir. She likes your feathers.
Thanks, but I'm not interested, Isilmir.
I didn't realize there were guild quests in all of the Elder Scrolls games. I played Skyrim and I played Oblivion, but I don't remember Oblivion at all. I guess maybe I was so young when I played it that it didn't really capture me and hold on to me. So I know I finished it, but I don't remember it. So I didn't realize that there were other Elder Scrolls games with quests in them. Okay, where are we going? We are in First Fires. No, we're in Brackenberry. We've already did what we need to do. Andra's Gift. That's where I want to go. Now we'll go up to the Lighthouse. Hopefully finish that. Turn that quest in. Then it's time to go into the quest book and figure out where these other quests that we need to clear out. Basically, I want to clear off all the quests that we can, everything that we can do now. I want to go ahead and get it cleared off and off the books until, and then once we've done that, then we take, whoa, Heritage Hill. You're making quite a name for yourself with the dominoes. Pity that it isn't the kind of impression you should be making. Ooh. Why aren't you just peachy? All right. So you come out here. And you go here. And you... Why? Oh, I haven't set up your AI, have you? I haven't set up your AI. I'm like, why does she keep hanging back and not do what she's supposed to? Because I haven't done what I'm supposed to do. And there we go. Ooh. They did not like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They were not fans of that. All right. I always do. Try the Dark Brotherhood once. It's too evil for me. I physically get ill playing the Dark Brotherhood as I do play evil characters in any capacity. Outright sadism? No. If there were bad people, then why would anyone put a hit on them? You can say the Lich is evil, but I always rationalize it as pragmatism instead of outright joy seeing someone destroyed, etc. Morrowind age like fine wine. People keep saying that, but Morrowind is so old that I can't do it. I can't get into it. Like the graphics are just too old for me. Still the best TES game. You are making a name with the dominoes. The pizza police is here. What was I about to say? Hey, so question 3, and anybody else who usually does not like doing evil playthroughs on their own, how do you feel about seeing evil playthroughs being streamed? Like I was thinking about at some point down the line playing Tyranny, but I would probably play Tyranny as outright pure evil. You know, does it bother you if you don't like playing evil games also to see it streamed, or no? Well, there's nothing in here. What's the deal with that? Oh, the Banshee shouldn't be a problem any longer. Nia and I'm just waiting for the good news. Oh, okay, cool. There are amazing graphics updates out there, mods. Make it look better than Skyrim. Really? You know what? I did not try to play with mods. I literally just had pizza today. At my outdoor work function, they served deep dish Giordano's pizza. Oof. Absolutely delicious. Oh, I don't mind other people doing it. Okay, cool. I always wonder. I'm sure there are absolutely some people who are turned off when they see it on my stream. But it's okay. You can't make everybody happy. You'll never guess what happened. Nia points to the lighthouse. I was keeping an eye out for you, and who strolls down the dock but Merwith herself? You should have seen the stares she got. But she walks right into the lighthouse, never a word to anyone. And just when I'm sure she's met some awful fate in there, she strolls right out, still saying nothing to nobody. Now I'm hearing all sorts of rumors about Merwith and the last lighthouse keeper. She shakes her head. I don't know what to believe, but everyone else around here is convinced that the place is safe again. I've even got a construction crew ready to start work. She takes a deep breath, a big, contented smile on her face. And I know I've got you to thank. Here, this is for you. Come back when the renovations are done. I've got big plans for this place. And there we go. All right, now that that's done, let's pull out the trusty. Okay, so we got the Herman House, Undying Heritage. That's the last thing we're going to do. Through Death's Gate, somewhere around the Deer Forge, the Dire Fort. I think we've already been there, right? So we could just check by there again. Why not? Let's go. Okay. He's lost a little bit of health. He's lost a little bit of health, but I'm not worried about it. We've got sleeps and supplies. It shouldn't be a problem. I enjoy watching evil playthrough. Sure, do whatever you will enjoy doing, playing the most. Awesome. I'm not going to demand no. You must not blah 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 because I blah blah blah. As long as it's not me, you're good. Awesome. I appreciate it. Flock, what's going on, brother? How are you, man? I hope you had a good evening, man. Glad you were able to make the stream. Did your DMs get flooded yet? My DMs got absolutely flooded. I actually had to go into work today, so I wasn't at home and really couldn't go through all my Twitter stuff. But yeah, my DMs are flooded. I'm actually pretty sure that I know what artists I'm going to be working with, but sometime tomorrow I'm going to go through. Whoa, I've lost some hirelings. Why did I lose some hirelings? That's not cool. All right. Yeah, sometime tomorrow I'm gonna go through the work because I've been asking them all, hey, send me your work, and I'll compare with all of them. But I'm pretty sure I know which one I actually want to use. So it's just a matter of checking all the rest of them. And here you get you. Why did I lose some? I'm confused. But hey, whatever. Okay. Supplicant. Send escort. If ignored, send an escort, I guess. Sure, whatever. Here, escort them. What's the deal here? Supplicant arrived. Oh, okay, cool. And barracks, did we finish this? We did. Allow you to deploy halflings. Oh, and merchant stall is finished as well. So, yeah, we could just go in order now. And, ooh, the first one is 2,500. We don't need all that extra security. Let's go down here. Yeah, 900. There we go. I'm good with that. Now, let's quick save here just in case. And broken statue. Is this the ruins? Oh, snap. You can go down into it. Oh, wait, you could always go down into it, right, though? Wasn't this the place where, this was the place where we dealt with we dealt with old girl who, was in that unfortunate relationship with her uncle, right? Isn't this where we came up from? So it can't be the ruins that she's referencing. Yep, we've already been here. Okay, so we cleared this out already. So it's not these ruins? Let me read that. Let me read this journal again. So, traveled to Deerford Village. I don't know exactly where these ruins are, but perhaps someone in Deerford Village does. All right, fine. We'll go. We'll go. I'm confused. I'll send you a link on Twitter. Oh, okay, cool. Find someone who knows about the ruins. Maybe this chick does. Did I talk with anyone who I feel confident should know about Weird Little Ruins? Not really. Here, you know anything?
Good day to you.
Hard to throw a stone in the wilds without knocking over someone's sacred Adra pillars. Smart travelers avoid them. But if you're really set on sightseeing, Bialdmar could point you in the right direction. He keeps up the little temple on the northwest edge of town.
Gods keep you.
Anything else I could do for you? I've got some handy ointments if you're braving the roads anytime soon. Awesome. Well, that wasn't hard. Okay. Temple. Oh, yeah, this was the temple off to the side where I was like, why? What are you supposed to do here? Excellent. Do a quick save. And now, what do you have to tell me? Oh, yeah, stealing. Can't do that. That's fine.
Out with you. I already told you what.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
What ruffians? Eder grunts in disgust. These times we live in. Nevermore, what's going on? Glad you're able to make the stream. Thank you for the Witch King build, by the way, man. My pleasure. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I really, really enjoy making those builds. I'm actually already thinking about the next one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a kineticist because I know nothing about that class. I've never been one of those people before. But for my Aeon run, I'm going to be a kineticist. So I'm going to release a build, but it's actually going to be one of those things where I'm like, I'm not sure this build actually works. So some people who love kineticists can let me know if they feel like it's actually a good build. But then as I play through Aeon, I'll play around with different subclasses in kineticists and get a much better understanding of how they actually work. So looking forward to that. That should be interesting.
How may I help you?
What happened to you?
I never saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins. Cleoban Relag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry. They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
Blue skin around your cheekbone. They did you bogus. Olaf looks at you frowning. That does sound the leaden key. Does sound like the leaden key, doesn't it? The old priest nods politely. Is there something else I can help you with? Can you tell me more about where to find the ruins?
The Glanfathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us, too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
A dangerous plot is unfolding there. I've got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cleoban Relag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
Tell me more about Deerford. Folks here tend to keep to themselves, as they do in most towns this deep in the Deerwood. They're suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area, who can blame them? People in town say that the Hollowborn problem has been especially bad here. It has. Cities and villages all over the Deerwood have seen Hollowborn, but Deerford hasn't seen the birth of an unaffected child in years. Most of our people have moved on to other villages in search of hope, and those who have stayed behind aren't the same. Children promise a future, you know. People change when you take that away from them. Graham Wade, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Hope you've been enjoying the content on the channel thus far. This is a temple of Barath. What can you tell me about Barath? Barath is the most universal of all the gods. It oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Barath, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Barath has many representations across time and across cultures. Around the Deerwood, you'll commonly see it depicted as the Pallid Knight or the Usher. The Glanfathans, however, know it as Beunin. Know it as Beunin I Aku and Anku I Beunin. The blood kineticist looks really interesting. Again, super creepy and weird. I love those things. Yep, I actually made a build for the blood kineticist, and then everybody piled on and told me that the blood kineticist is absolutely inferior to the other kineticist subclasses. So I'm going to play around with some other ones before I feel like I'm really got a full understanding of kineticists. Would love to make a charm build in Wrath of the Righteous, similar to a cipher. You know, I've actually wanted to make a charm build based around the laughing power, uncontrollable laughter, or whatever it is that it's called. And Nine-tailed fox is basically perfect for an enchantment build. So I want to do something with nine-tailed fox that's all about that laughing power. Sooner or later I'm gonna figure that out before I stop making content for the game. Tell me about the Pallid Knight. She's one of the youngest manifestations of Barath, but a familiar one nonetheless. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armor with black eyes, black hair, and milk pale skin. She demands an impossible toll from travelers who have tarried too long on her lord's road. Some challenge her only to slay themselves in the process. Who is the Usher? Kith have written stories, songs, and poems about the Usher for centuries. Sometimes he's folk, sometimes dwarf, and sometimes merely a walking skeleton. He never speaks, but he guides the way to death and the next life. He also creates the circumstances for the wayward to stumble into their own graves. I've never heard of Bionin. It means life and death and life, respectively. You see them as two skeletal figures, one male and one female. Explorers have found them carved opposite one another in doorways, but I know of no particular legends that speak of them. Thanks for the information. Of course, Barath was once more widely worshipped in this area, but it is a silent god. He smiles sadly. These days, people find themselves in need of clearer answers. Farewell. Awesome. I remember that area being multiple levels and super tough. So we'll wait. Heritage Hill and Ciliag. We'll circle back around to those. The Ivory Horn at it.
Still have family living in the Deerwood. There.
No, not these days. Parents left the country years back during the purges. I think about them a lot.
It's a shame you and your family suffered, even after the Saints' War ended. You Deerwoodens certainly have a knack for holding on to old grudges.
See, I never played Legacy of Kain, so I can't really compare the two of them. I've had that exact build as a Kitsune too. It works great. Would not recommend the Nine-Tailed Sorcerer. Terrible subclass. Useless. Why do you dislike the Nine-Tailed Sorcerer? I thought it might be good because it automatically gives you several enchantment powers. But then again, I haven't really explored enchantment builds, so I haven't compared it to what other subclasses might be able to do for you. Oh, here we go. Okay, so go north from here, and then we'll be over there. Okay, fine. That's fine. So here, we're waiting on these two, and this is linked to those two, so we're basically on hold for the main path for right now. Where's Parable of Abandoned Farm on the path to Deerford? What abandoned farm? The Woodend Plains? Is that what you're referring to? You come from the city, going to Deerford, Woodend Plains? I think that's it. Let's see. Old Legacy of Kain. That was another favorite, of course. I didn't get my hands on the game until I was 18, 2012. Who knows how many years after the Legacy of Kain came out. And I'm not sure if this is it. Wait, no, there was another place, right? Oh, nope, this is it. Bine eyes you with amusement, but his voice carries menace. You must be lost, pup. The giant slayers don't share bounties. Winnan sent me to help. He stops leaning against his sword and grips the pommel. Winnan sent you. A knot forms at his jaw. The well-groomed man leans in, swaying as if drunk. You think you could get the weapons? You got two problems, rookie. A flooded entrance for one, and crucible patrols for another. We've seen more knights than face painters out here. Why are the Knights of the Crucible here? Damned if I know. They're glorified thugs in armor and usually prefer their feathered beds to camp cots. I'd gut one in an instant, but I can't collect bounties as a wanted man. Tell me about the flooded entrance. Must be the rains, he shrugs. We found this in the water, though. He holds up a flat, circular piece of Adra and drops it into a pouch on his belt. Not much natural Adra around here. Might be a key of some kind. Couldn't experiment much with the damn knights prowling around. What do you know about these weapons? Winnin's paying good coin from them. That's all I need to know. So, what now? That's an interesting question. You see, we never ever shares bounties. His companions moved to stand in line with him, hands on their weapons. That's Winnin's problem, not mine. You should talk to your employer. I have words with Winnin. Don't worry about that. He steps forward, his weapon now in hand. You still shouldn't have come. Intellect, admit it. You have no idea what to do next, or you wouldn't be sitting around out here. Ben's face flushes bright red. His hand inches towards his axe, but it finds the Adra disc instead. He hurls it at your feet. Let's see you do better. Unless you're all talk, that is. He turns to his companions. Come on, hot meals for us tonight. We'll deal with these upstarts later. Be seeing you. He turns to his partners and nods, and they follow his lead down the hill. So is this a game where if you resolve disputes with persuasion, you don't get any experience points? Enter the ruins via Stormwall Gorge. The Ivory Horn Quest. Oh, wait, did I assign someone? No, I did not. Sagani, take care of it. Library construction started. Supplicant has arrived. Seeking an escort. Yep, we're good. Okay, cool. That was not the farm. You know, it's always weird to me when in fantasy the gods are real and have regional names. Like, why aren't we calling them by their within names? Barath can talk. What's up with localization? Can Barath not say to the dear ones, hey, my name is Barath. Barath is a real person who exists. Princess, what's going on? How are you? You gave up bloodlines for a variety of spell likes. It's not a good trade, especially for an enchanter. You want to take a bloodline, undead or serpentine, to add undead animals to your list for each. Cross-blooded is good. Fey undead or Fey serpentine. Interesting. Yeah, Nine-Tailed Sorcerer was very disappointing. Is Fey worth it in Wrath of the Righteous? Like, obviously, Faye in Kingmaker, boss. No doubt about it. That's what you want to do. But Wrath of the Righteous, I'm not so sure. That's Searing Falls. One of these places had a whole farm that was, like, abandoned, right? Like, that's what we need, right? Grimdus said that one of the thieves mentioned an abandoned farm on the path to Deerford. But if I'm going from the city to Deerford Village, unless, is there something at the top here that I'm not aware of? Did I forget to go up top? Yeah, Argo, I would still want the Nine-Tailed Fox for roleplay purposes. Yeah, because I love Naruto. That alone would make me want it. What's going on? Yeah. So there's no... We went to the Bluff. We went to Searing Falls. Wait, or is there talking about the Stormwall Gorge? Did that have a farm? Did that have an abandoned farm? I don't remember it. Fae plus Trickster, I guess. This is those ruins. Yeah, no farm here. What is this? I can't remember. I think this is the same thing as the main quest. Whoa. No. I think if we come back here after we finish that quest for the um the Crucible Knights, that quest where they're looking for that research, I think those guards won't be hostile towards us. And I don't want to take the risk of the Crucible Knights turning against me. So we're going to turn away from this from now. We'll come back to this later. Okay. Back to the parable. On the abandoned path to the Deer Ford. If you're coming from the city, you can hit there, and then come here. Like, was there anything at Deer Ford Crossing? My character was cross-blooded demon and red dragon for extra edge. I was thinking Ari from League of Legends, but Naruto too. Yep, either one works. No, we're just gonna bounce around until I know one of these freaking places. It had like an abandoned farm. I know it. Fey Arcana gives +2 DC on compulsion spells. You are playing an enchanter. That's true. I was thinking that you were mentioning it because you wanted the ability to be able to do it to Fey easier, but no, it's just about having more effective enchanted spells in general. That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Okay. What about here? No. Bandit camp. Destroyed cart. No. There's no farm here. One of these freaking places has a farm. Maybe it's Easternwood. Yeah, Nine-Tailed Sorcerer with Trickster Path is great for role-playing. Interesting. So, finishes strong. Ooh. And returns. Oh, it was just an escort. This is Graveyard. This does not have it either. Gilded Vale is not what I need. Valewood is not what I need. So is it Margaret's Fork? No, I don't think it's Margaret's Fork either. Stack them DCs with they real high. I played a paladin of Iomade who became a demon, then rose as a gold dragon. That was probably a very nice playthrough. Ooh, is this it? Ooh, we could go inside now. I don't think we could go inside before. Oh, we already discovered that. Okay. Save here. What's inside? No?
Light, flame, and sound.
Oh, I don't need sleeping supplies right now. God dog it. Where is this place? I am so confused now. Okay. Let me read it again. Grimda said that one of the thieves mentioned an abandoned farm. Maybe it is in one of those previous areas and I just didn't identify it properly. An abandoned farm. So if I'm coming from the city, I feel like Woodland Plains is where I would go. Because it says on the way to, right? On the path to the Deer Ford. Or maybe it's actually in the Deer Ford village? Is there an abandoned place in there? I'll have to check. They are already valid targets for enchantments. Undead and beasts are not unless you have... That's Deer Ford Mill. No. So everything that's here is accounted for. Yeah, because that's his little... He is asking for help with accumulated debts. Oh, I have to go see him? There's no way to just deal with him remotely? That sucks. Okay. Yeah. No abandoned farms over here. Let's go back to Cadnor. This is a house where Cox ambushes you if you don't make him the owner of Gilded Vale. Okay.
Looks a little healthier than before.
Indeed. A call to the court. Supplicant wants an escort. You can have an escort. It's fine. There we go. There's your escort. Let's save this. Go to Wood End Plains. Okay. I was there, though. I checked around. I didn't see anything. I'll check. I'll check again. I'll go again. I'll go again. Oh, I bear a message from the Ducal Palace. So here, first I'll deal with you. Hello. Greetings, Lord Slandered, I mean. I was hoping to talk to you. I'm in a spot of trouble. The man's breath stinks of ale. Very well, let's hear it. You call your allies together and motion for the petitioner to step forward. Thing is, I've worked up a few debts in Deerford and a few other places. More than a few. I haven't got the coin, my lord. I'd pay it off if I could. I was thinking maybe you know of someone looking to hire on or something. I'm willing to work. I know a way you can pay off your debt. I never did learn much of a trade. What you have in mind? I'll talk to Bella Sage at the Brackenberry Sanitarium. You can help her with her research. Like in tests, you mean? Suppose that ought to pay well at least, right? He bows awkwardly. Thank you. I'll head out there as soon as I can. Take care, Three. Have a good one. Greetings, my lord. I bear an urgent message from Chancellor Warren of Defiance Bay. He requests that you meet with him at your earliest convenience in the Ducal Palace. Your claim on Cadnoa has been called into question by the Gathbin family. Earl Badmermar has issued a ruling on the matter, but both you and Lord Gathbin must be present. Who's Chancellor Warren? He's an arbiter of legal matters for Earl Badmermar of the Grasp. Tell me about this Lord Gathbin. He's an old Adarian lineage, I believe. He looks around the Great Hall. The former lord of this stronghold, a distant relative of Lord Gathbin, allied himself with the losing side during the War of Defiance. Cadnoa is mine. The Gathbin family disagrees. As your claim is not based on lineage, an official ruling is required to remedy this dispute. I'll go meet him then. The Chancellor will await you in the records room of the Ducal Palace in First Fires. The messenger bows, then strides away. Let me just check here as well. I believe I've received some items. Yay! Yep, I'll look at those later.
Greetings.
My lord, fancy a new blade? Maybe an axe? I've plenty here to take the fancy of any man of action. Or perhaps some ingredients and spices for the road? I've oils and tinctures for the alien man too. Want to have a look? Show me your wares. Anything interesting? Anything interesting? I don't think so. I don't know if I need a hammer and chisel or grab hook. Let's go ahead and take those just in case. Oh, and I could respec here. Oh, in fact, I need to make sure I do that for Palagina. Their flag is absolutely not flying over my stronghold, sir. You can get that out your mind now.
Looks a little healthier
Than before. Oh, you know what? Now I think about it, we can camp right here. +2 lore, +3 perception. Here we go. You awake to see Durance, his staff held in both of his hands before him. A flame flickers at his top end, casting long shadows across his face as he stares in contemplation. Still, for all the light of the fire, your eyes can't focus on him. Perhaps as it is awakening from sleep or a trick of the light, but he seems indistinct, blurred around the edges, everything except for the staff. The staff, he seems to be studying its engravings. As you watch, the engravings glow thinly red, like through the cracks of heats of fussed wood. The lines stream like molten metal, burning along the edges of his staff, then branch out in intricate series of fiery veins, bunching thickly where his hands clutch the wood, pulsing as if a heartbeat. As you watch the veins spiral into a dozen separate circles, circles that spiral again until they are arranged in a circle of their own. They pulse, wait, and all is strangely silent, and then suddenly there's a great light from the fire, a rushing of air, a great flash, and you awaken again to see Darren's in the same place, still holding his staff, but he is solid, real. He doesn't seem to have noticed you or reacted to what occurred. Nice. All right. I definitely wanted to discuss that, but not right at this moment. Right at this moment, I want to confirm that Wooden Plains has the place that I'm supposed to go to. Construction complete. Recall. More construction. This will be the path to the Deer Ford. No. Nothing there. Nothing here. Just that box. Nothing over there. Wine dregs. Nothing. Why you say the Wooden Plains? I see nothing. Oh, whoops. Here's the farm. Crap. I didn't see that on the freaking map. I didn't see this at all. Oh, my God. And I just ran into all these freaking people. Ba-boom.
Yes?
I do so appreciate you, sir. As you take the scroll, you hear a voice. You have found it. Now lose it again. What? You think this theft was an accident? The voice seems to shift, as if the speaker were constantly changing age, race, and sex. My relics were never meant to stay in one place for long. They are meant to be lost and found. It is the search that gives a thing value. Take it back to the Black Meadow. Find the drake that faces east and bury it beneath its skull. All right. I always ignored his direction and just went on ahead and brought it back to Grinda. This time, we're going to see what happens when we take it back. What just happened? Oh, she got me some money and some items. Excellent. And we're still good on that. All right. Okay. So, what did he say? Black Meadow, right? Let's take it to Black Meadow. And come on. Where the drake? Oh, the drake. The drake is needs to face east. Is that this guy? Looks like it. The drake skull faces east. The soil underneath is soft and moist. Bury the scroll of will. As you cover the ancient scroll with the last handful of soil, a shifting voice speaks in your head once more. Well done, Watcher. All right. Grimda will want to know what happened to it, but I'm not sure how she'd take this information. If they aren't meant to stay in one place, then why did you make them out of paper? that ever most self-mobile of materials. Not smart enough to give your relics legs, are you? Apparently not. Hair to till, clandestine cargo. Nans is an animancer expert. She'll know how much the papers are worth and perhaps if they can be reassembled. Take the scepter pieces to Nans in the Brackenberry Sanitarium. We never saw her. We talked to every animancer in there. All right, I guess back to Brackenberry we go. Okay, so apparently there is a quest somewhere in there we still haven't completed. I don't understand how it's possible we missed her. So, sanitarium, yep. Yeah, because we don't need, the rest of this we've already done stuff for. Security reports that skeletons were attacked in 4 days. Also, auto-resolve. Excellent. Azura, an exotic wares merchant, has arrived. I need to go talk with him. Okay, fine. Whoa. Oh, is that what happened? Are my hirelings dying? Sometimes? Is that what's going on? I wonder. The world's most extreme whale erotica. I'll keep that in mind. Who is Nadea? Oh, is she the one who wants us to get the scroll from Grimda? See what I can do. All right, that's Verna. Aldmere. Oh, here we go. Nans. Oh, I talked to her the first go round, but I didn't talk to her again when we came back.
Hail, traveler.
Patel sent me. He said you'd be interested in these scepter pieces we found. That chatty old fishwife's been blabbing about me, I see. She laughs and rolls her eyes. Never trust your secrets to a man with so much salt in his beard. Anyway, let's see what you've got. Well, you did just miss a whole ass farm. What's 1%? Thank you so much. Nads examines the scepter, her eyes hooded by crinkled flesh. Immatel told you true. I'll buy this. Unfortunately, a broken scepter isn't as valuable as he may have led you to believe. She steals a glance at your face, but her fingers tighten around the piece in her hands. I'll take it off you for 500. Perception. You seem a little too excited. What aren't you telling me? The corners of her mouth twitch upward. Sharper than Immatil, I see. The truth is, I could repair the scepter. She runs her fingers along one of the patterned pieces. It's broken, sure enough, but the pieces themselves are in good condition. Making it whole again is a matter of alchemy. Expensive alchemy. I've got to soak the broken ends in a fiend's blood compound to reconnect them. Never mind the embalming work to restore the enchantments. She eyes you. I could do it to the tune of 1,800 pans. Give 1,800. Put the scepter back together. I'll expect you'll want to watch to see that your money's put to good use. Better get comfortable then. She lays out an array of powders, potions, and other obscure ingredients on her deck. After what feels like hours, she returns to the main hall with you and presents the scepter. Looking at it, you'd never know it had been broken in the first place. This may be the finest work I've ever done. Hey, thanks, Princess. I really appreciate the tip. I'm glad that you're enjoying the stream and the content thus far, if I may say so. And thank you for giving me the opportunity. Examining a piece like that is a dream come true for someone in my field. She gazes at it wistfully. Take good care of it. Nans regards you with bright, intelligent eyes. Can I help you with something else? Farewell. What is this? She gave me a scepter. Where is it? Gem is high. High. Why am I not seeing it? I don't see it down here either. None of these say scepter. I'll have to look for it and see if Morning Star. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. What is Raven Wing? A Raven Wing is a mace. Okay. And what's this? Untouched mail. See, I got a lot of good items that I need to figure out and put on my peoples. I'm going to have to go search through some of this. Oh, and I still got, what is this? You hear a woman's voice. Oh, this is the one I need to return to that dude. Okay. More quest to turn in. All right. I think that is enough for one day. I do need to go ahead and work tomorrow morning. But I think we've made good progress. In the next one, I want to continue clearing out all the quests that are on my list before we finally do those 2 main quests, because I remember them being doozies, as I recall. But let me save here. And in fact, off stream, I might go in and rest up, figure out their gear and stuff like that. But for now, I think it's finally time for me to go to bed. And I have periodically heard my daughter crying from the bedroom. So it seems like my assistance might be needed to actually get her to stay down the way she is supposed to. But hope all of you all had an absolutely fantastic time. I do, I keep saying this, but I do plan to stream Friday. I probably won't start until around 10:30 though. I have a meeting from 9 to 10, but I'm hoping by 10:30 I should go ahead and get started. So I do plan to stream on that day. We'll see how it works out. And actually, both my wife and my daughter will be gone this weekend. So I might actually even stream Saturday morning. We'll see how it works out. But anyway, that's for later on this week. For now, that is in the stream. Hope you all enjoy it and have an absolutely fantastic day. Take care. Yeah, good night, everyone. Argo, Princess, Manfred, Camera. Glad you all were able to make it. Have an absolutely fantastic night. Yeah, Argo, 10:30 p.m. for Friday night, but I might also stream Saturday morning. We'll see. But for Friday night, 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.